Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome inside the friendly confines of Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium as this evening the Lady Senators go for their third straight win as they open up the new year and look to keep things rolling here in 2018. Meanwhile, their opponent, the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran, come in as a top 10 team as well, looking to continue their successful season as they go for win number 15 on the year. Tonight it's the Lady Senators and Lady Cougars, two sectional 62 favorites set to do battle, and your countdown to the tip starts now. Hello again, everyone. I'm Misty Jones, and joining me in just a moment for tonight's broadcast, our first broadcast of 2018, will be my sidekick and broadcast partner, Coach Mark Gibson. Well, for Coach Darren Russell and his Lady Senators, it's been another terrific start thus far. The Lady Senators have raced out to a 12-5 mark thus far, and it appears that his high-octane offense is off and running, and certainly he'll want to keep that engine pumping as they head down the finish and they roll in to sectional 62 as obviously one of the favorites going into tournament play. They have an attacking full-court pressure defense that usually fuels that high-octane offense, and tonight they'll try to put that on display here again in this battle of top 10 teams in Class 1A. However, the task at hand could be, like I said, a very pivotal momentum swing as we roll down the stretch here in January and look forward to the tournament in the early part of next month. And this task will be a tall one at that, both literally and figuratively, as they face a Trinity Lutheran club that boasts a couple of girls in the 6-foot range, one at 5'11" and one at 6'1", just a big stout lineup across the front for Trinity Lutheran. Coach, this seems like, while it might be a preview of things to come, hopefully in a sectional 62 championship game, and that's what you kind of dream about and hope for. You've got your two best teams when it all comes down to it on Saturday night in tournament time, playing one another. But tonight for the Lady Senators, maybe more than anything, it's about continuing to grow that confidence against a team that they haven't been able to quite put away in recent years. They've had their troubles with them in the tournament, but Coach Darren Russell, owning a 2-0 mark against the Lady Cougars, knows that his team's poised to make a run. It's just a matter of, can they get over the hump mentally? As we talked about earlier today, he told me, this is a team coming in that they faced the last couple of seasons. They've got sizable leads against this group of Mike Lang's, and they've let them slip back into it. So tonight, when you look at this, they've got three girls in double figures, almost four. We are averaging four girls in double figures tonight. But when you look at this Lady Senator team, you've got a chance to watch them just as I have. What impresses you most about Coach Darren Russell's group?
I like the tenacity on the defensive end and the pressure that they can bring when they really get after it. One of the things, and I think that's going to be a big factor tonight, can our defense produce offense? We're going to get after these. They're big and tall, Lutheran is, but we're going to, you had talked, me and you had talked about it, and you talked with a couple of the players before the game about you want to see them getting after, pressure the ball, pressure these ladies, and see if we can't get some easy buckets, get some fast break points, and don't let them just sit there, and throw the ball into the paint. Make sure our post defense is good, so no easy entries, and we're pretty lengthy. We don't have quite the height, but our girls we have good length. We have long arms, long legs. We have good length as well, so it'll be an interesting matchup, and it's, like you said, an exciting matchup. Two top 10 teams going at it. The two favorites, prohibitive favorites right now. You have to go through the draw. You'd like to see these two in the finals, but you never know with the draw. But yet right now, according to Sagarin, these are the two favorites in the sectional, so it's kind of a measuring stick game as well.
Well, on the flip side, as I mentioned earlier, Coach Mike Lang brings in his Lady Cougars to the friendly confines tonight with a stellar mark as well as they roll into the new year. The Lady Cougars had won 10 consecutive games heading into their holiday tourney up at Eastern Green before they stumbled and had to play 4 games in a 48-hour span, going 2-2 in that tournament up at Eastern Green, and that proved to be a little bit of a momentum killer as well for his group. But they faced some very stiff competition and a very good Danville team, and they also fell to the Lady Rams, which right now seem to be rolling as well in the PLAC, and a very formidable foe. So when you look at this lineup, Coach, of course it starts inside. Sydney Janes the 6'1" freshman. They've also got the Hackman girls I mentioned a while ago at 5'11". This is a tall lineup across the board. And they both average in the 12-point range, and one's averaging around 8.5, one's right around 10 rebounds per game. So this is a twin tower duo inside for Coach Mike Kling's group that can certainly get it done in the post. Defensively, offensively, they do a nice job of cleaning up the glass for his ball club. So tonight, knowing the Senators like to get up and down, they like that full court pressure defense, how do they contain those two within the paint and avoid some early foul trouble?
Well, you can't. I mentioned just a second ago. I mean, it starts out front too. Your guards have to pressure, so the entry passes aren't as easy. You can't let the big girls, like you said, they go 6'1", 5'11", 5'10", 5'9". You know, four of the five are 5'9" or taller. So you can't let them push you under the basket. You know, there's been some games that we've watched where we've struggled a little bit on letting teams get offensive rebounds because we get pushed underneath the basket and we're not in good rebounding position. So we can't let that happen tonight to where we give them second and third chances because they've pushed us so far underneath the basket to get easy offensive rebounds. And that's going to be key too, second chance points. We can't let those big girls just keep, shoot, offensive rebound, shoot, offensive rebound. We have to one and done. We're going to have to play physical. We're going to have to play tough.
We're certainly glad to be bringing you this broadcast of Lady Senator basketball here tonight on Salem's 1220, our first girls basketball broadcast of the season as we open up the new year, a busy mini marathon weekend for Coach Gibson and myself as we will be here tonight, of course, with this one, but then tomorrow night take the long, cold, snowy trip down to Leopold to take on the Commodores, the boys back in action in conference play. We'll have that one for you. That's scheduled for a half-hour later start with the time differential, and then on Saturday night, we'll be right back here in the Friendly Confines. Busy night as the boys and girls will be in a doubleheader. Girls will play at 6 o'clock. The boys will follow somewhere in the neighborhood of 7:30 as they both take on the Edinburgh Lancers in a possible sectional 62 matchup for both ball clubs as well. So busy slate of basketball coming up this weekend here on the WSLM AM dial with Coach Gibson and myself. See if we can hold up in this mini marathon. But we want to thank you for tuning in to tonight's broadcast and our Lady Senator tip-off pregame show, as well as thanking the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator basketball and Lady Senator basketball possible. And those sponsors include our pregame show sponsor, John Jones GM City, our halftime report sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors, just south of the square in Salem, as well as Ace Hardware, bringing you our Lady Senator postgame wrap-up here tonight from the Friendly Confines. Also want to thank McDonald's on South Main Street in Salem and Marie Lowry with her crew, as well as Walmart there in Salem, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, and Brady Bishop with Channel Seed, all great sponsors all season long for Senator Athletics here on WSLM. When we come back, we'll sit down. We'll be joined by Lady Senator head coach, Mr. Darren Russell, to get his thoughts on the night's top 10 matchup against the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars. We'll have that for you in a moment, but first it's a 60-second timeout from the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Tonight you're listening to Lady Senator basketball on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Before the big plays, before the magical moments, before all that discipline, dedication, and teamwork finally pays off, comes your support. The IHSAA Foundation is dedicated to protecting, sustaining, and nurturing education-based athletics in Indiana. Its work will ensure IHSAA member schools and coaches receive the support they need so that Indiana student-athletes receive the opportunity they deserve. Learn more at ihsaafoundation.org.
Welcome back as we continue on with more of this edition of our Lady Senator tip-off pregame show as we get you set tonight for the Lady Senators, who are set to take on the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars, a battle of top 10 teams in Class 1A. And we're joined now in this portion of our pregame by Lady Senator head coach, Mr. Darren Russell. Coach, let's just take fans and listeners back that maybe haven't been too familiar with your schedule and your season thus far. Of course, you race out to a hot start. You win the holiday tourney, or the opening tourney, rather, at Henryville. and then you run into some taller competition on purpose with the likes of Bedford and such to get your team prepared for this little run down the stretch. Talk to us about your team, how they performed, if they've met your expectations, and where they're at right now.
Yeah, we got off to as good a start as we could have expected. Winning that opening tournament, playing 4 games in 5 days after only having 6 practices due to volleyball. So, we got off to a good start, and we did that primarily because we were playing fast, the girls were playing loose, and just getting out and running. And but as you said, then we started sprinkling in, the B&Ls. They're a top 10 team in 4A. South Central, which is a top 10 team in 1A, and somebody that we hope we get another chance at. Then you got your county schools, that we did not play very well against, and then really we've had one game where I felt like we didn't show up, and that was the New Washington loss. That's the one that really bugs me, and that part of that was it was Saturday. It was a Saturday. It was a long ride, which is not an excuse because. Not this year, but, in future years, you're going to make those long rides for sectional on Saturdays, and you got to be ready to go. And, that's something we talked about after that game. And, the good thing is after each of our losses, our kids have responded extremely well and bounced back. And, now we're basically starting over, having 2 weeks off since we last played. So the girls are ready to get back at it. And, we may be a little rusty in the beginning tonight, but, they're ready to go.
Coach, one thing for sure, your team's had incredible balance throughout the first 17 games of the season. You've got 4 kids right now averaging in double figures, and a couple of them that are really giving you valuable minutes off of the bench. Just talk to us a little bit about the depth of this team and the scoring threats that you have.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we knew was going to be a big strength this year is the balance. We talked this summer to them about it. We're not going to have that one kid that's going to score 25, 30 points on a given night or on every night, kind of like Rye did last year. But what we have is we've got 7 girls that can score anywhere from 15 to 20 on any given night, and that makes it hard for other teams to defend you because they don't know who they got to stop. Because primarily when we go play a team, we know who their top 1 or 2 players are, and if you shut them down, then the other girls really struggle to score. And fortunately for us, the girls have bought into that. They've accepted that. We're gonna go the hot hand on any given night, and it's probably gonna be someone different every night.
Well, Coach, I've had the privilege and opportunity to watch a bulk of your games thus far, and of course, if anybody's familiar with you and the program and the style of play you like, it's obviously a fast-paced track meet. Whenever you step on the floor with the Lady Senators for 32 minutes, and this group accepting that once again this year, and they seem to be succeeding and thriving in that kind of full-court pressure style of defense. But what makes that defense so special?
Well, we've got athletes. I mean, and it's not just 1 or 2 kids that you count on to get the steals. We go seven deep that we're really able to get after people, and we can even go deeper than that, rotating people in and out. But the main thing is they accept their role and they come in and they go as hard as they can while they're in there, and they know that when they get tired, we got someone to give them a break. And it's a fun group to coach. It's a fun group to watch play. You don't see a lot of girls get out and play the way that they are, and that's a credit to how hard they work in practice and put the time in on their own.
Coach, I know you like that fast-paced style, but is this a team and a group that you can adapt with on the fly and slow things down a little bit in the half court?
Yeah, I think so. We've had games where we've not been able to get the steals off of our press, but the one thing that we want to do is we want to keep the pace up. Make or miss the other team's shot, we want to get it out and run our secondary break and see what we can get. Because again, I feel like with the athletes that we got, we can wear people down. Because most teams, when they sub, they lose a lot when they sub, and that's not the case with us. So we've got to make sure we continue to get the ball up and down the floor. And tonight's going to be a good test because we are, I think, currently 16th in the state in scoring. Trinity is 39th in defense. So it's going to be a matter of which team can dictate the tempo.
Coach, you've got a group that likes to chuck it from downtown. How vital is that three-point shot within your offense and what your scheme is?
Well, ideally, we want to get inside, but yeah, we can stretch the defense out. Ryan, Chelsea have both made over 30-some threes on the season. Then Maddie's capable at any time. Cora is capable at any time. Cassidy's she's hit one or two, but I mean she's very capable of shooting from out there. Hattie's getting more comfortable with it, in which we talked to her that before the end of the year she's got to become a threat from behind the line.
Tonight, you turn your attention to this possible sectional 62 opponent. It could come down next month to you and Trinity Lutheran for all the marbles. Talk to us about the team that Mike Lang brings in here tonight.
He brings a team in that is tall, they're athletic, they're long, but they typically do not want to get out and run. They've shot maybe a third of as many threes as we have on the year. They are a very inside-oriented team with the Hackman girl and then the 6'1" Jane girl that is a freshman. But she can do damage inside, but she is an athlete that she's going to handle the ball a lot for them. She's also one of the top three-point shooters when they do shoot outside. So, they've definitely got a size advantage, and then they got a couple other girls that are 5'8", 5'9". So, they've got good length, but they are much more methodical than we are.
You talked about tempo a little bit, and of course wanting to have that high-scoring, high-octane offense rolling tonight against a team that typically only gives up about 36.5 points per game. But more specifically, who do you attack on this roster tonight on the offensive side?
Well, I think Hattie's got to be able to drive. We're going to set some screens for her because the girl guarding her, Hattie's actually going to have a height advantage on, and you don't see that too often, which then also means that they try and switch Hackman off of that screen onto Hattie. Hattie's going to go right by her. So I'm anxious to see how they do because they're going. I would suspect they will start out in man, but if we have success against that, they're going to have to go to a zone, and I think they'll extend their zone because of our shooters, and then that's going to leave openings in the middle for Maddie and Cora. Or Maddie and Cassidy.
And obviously they've got a couple of bigs inside that have done a bulk of their damage, both averaging in the neighborhood of 12 points a game and collectively almost 20 rebounds per contest. So I'm sure a big opportunity, a big challenge for girls like Maddie and Cass, especially being a little short-handed tonight.
Yeah, Cora's not going to be able to play. She's probably going to be out for another week or so. She's got mono, and I don't think it's real severe, but again, mono is something that if you don't take care of it, you're going to have a relapse, and it's going to be twice as worse or as bad. And we definitely need Cora come sectional time. But yeah, Maddie and Cass are going to really have to step up. I told Maddie she's got to be physical tonight because the Jane girl does not like contact. She does not like being pushed around. So Maddie's not a big girl, but she's got to be physical tonight. Cass has got to stay out of foul trouble. I mean, we've talked to her for a week, 2 weeks now about just when we play them, you got to be straight up, don't be going for blocks, and don't get the silly fouls where you got to sit.
And Coach, I watched a little bit of your practice yesterday, and you was walking through some things, preparing for this game tonight with Trinity Lutheran, and one thing you worked on was getting the ball up the floor and hitting that middle against some 2-2, 1-3/4 court pressure. Do you expect that early?
Well, that's something that Trinity typically goes to at the start of the second half. So I've also been told that he doesn't think he can press us because of our quickness and shooters and everything. So, I'll be anxious to see what he does, but we're definitely prepared for it, and we feel like that if they go to that, we're going to make them pay.
Coach, finally, I know we talked a little bit a while ago about the health of one of your players, Cora Miller, with mono, but talk to us about the health of the rest of the squad.
The rest of them seem to be pretty good. Right before break, Taylor Fouch, we just get her back from her knee injury from the second week of the season, and then she comes down with strep throat and misses, the week right before sectional, or right before Christmas break. So, but she's back 100% now. Bailey's back, so we're pretty good. I mean, obviously we got nagging injuries, but nothing that should slow us down too much.
And that was my conversation prior to the tip here tonight against the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran as the Lady Senators enter this pivotal matchup with a possible sectional 62 rival coming up possibly just down the road in tournament play. Let's turn quickly to our keys to victory tonight, brought to you by John Jones GM City. First and foremost, coach, establish the post. We know what they bring to the table in the post. Can our girls, Maddie and Cass in particular, respond and establish themselves without the services of Cora? Then aggressive pressure. We've had it all year long. Can we do it but be smart with it, force them into some errors early, and feed the offense with those deflections? And then the battle of the boards, we talked about it. They've got two girls that combine for almost 20 rebounds a game. It's going to be critical for us to clean the glass as well.
That's right. We talked about it before. Coaches talked about it. Yeah, we're going to have to battle down low, stay out of foul trouble. I think another key is turnovers. You know, there's been some times this year that we've gotten out the leads and then we start playing too fast. We turn the ball over and let teams get back into games.
Step aside and take a break. We'll come back with our starting lineups right after this. As well as our starting lineups tonight, brought to you by John Jones. They're a proud sponsor of the Senators all season long. Call the good folks at John Jones GM City by phoning 1-800-I-SELL-GM. Again, 1-800-473-5546. Check them out on the web at johnjonesautogroup.com, or better yet, stop by that beautiful showroom and lot just outside of town there, 1450 South State Road 60 in Salem. John Jones GM City. You see so many because they pay so little. Let's run down tonight's starting lineups. Battle of top 10 teams in Girls 1A here going on tonight. For the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars, they enter this matchup number 5 in the latest Class 1A poll with a 14-3 record. Coach Mike Lang, 98-56 in his 7th season. His team averages 52.6 while giving up 36.5 per game. Their last outing was on December 30th. That was a win against 3A Edgewood, 47-39, finishing 7th place in the Eastern Green tournament over the holiday break. They will start a two-guard set. Number 5, Jody Gerker, 5'4", and a senior at 3.5 points, 3.5 rebounds per game. The other guard, number 25, Savannah Harwager, 5'9", and a junior at 11.2 per game and 5.5 boards. Number 24, Piper Acton, 5'10", and a senior, starts at the small forward. She averages just a shade under 10 points per game and pulls down a couple of boards as well. At the power forward, number 33, Sydney Janes, 6'1", and a freshman. She'll be the handful on the block tonight for the Lady Senators, averaging 12.5 points per game and 8.5 rebounds. And in the middle, her sidekick, the other twin tower, 45, Abby Hackman, 5'11", and a senior, at 11.9 points and 10.7 rebounds per contest for Coach Michael Lang and the Lady Cougars. Meanwhile, for Darren Russell and his crew, Darren, 39-29 in his 3rd season here in the Berg. His team averages 63.5 and gives up 51.6. Their last outing was on December 21st, a 14-day layoff for the Lady Senators, coming off of that win at Shoals, 77-38. The Lady Senators currently number 10 in the Class 1A poll. They'll start a 3-guard set. Hattie Griffiths, 5'5", and a junior, 10.2 points per game, along with 5 rebounds and nearly 4 assists per game. Number 3, Ryan Russell, starts at the shooting guard spot, 5'7", and a sophomore. She averages 11.3 and 4.5 rebounds per contest. Number 5, Chelsea Carter, starts at the third guard spot, 5'4" and a senior. She's the Senators' sharpshooter at 12.5 points per game, 3.5 rebounds, and she is the team leader in three-point field goal attempts with over 100 on the year. Up front on the blocks, number 2, Maddie Bausman, 5'10" and a junior, 10.5 points, 7 rebounds per game, and nearly 3 assists. Joining her on the other block, number 10, Cassidy Keltner, 5'11" and a sophomore, 6.5 points, 5.5 rebounds per game for the sophomore big for Coach Darren Russell and his Lady Senators. 12th year in this series, Trinity Lutheran owns an advantage 9-4, although Coach Russell 2-0 against his former college mate, Mike Lang. Our officials for tonight from the Indiana High School Athletic Association from the Lagodi area, Mr. Elmer Graber, Tim Lukomsky, and Pace Jenkins. Lady Senators in the home white threads trimmed in red and blue letters and numerals. Trinity Lutheran in the road gray uniforms trimmed in gold. And out of the gate, they waste no time going to Hackman down low, who misses Lady Senators on your 1220 AM dial, moving from left to right to start things out here in the friendly confines. Misty Jones alongside of Coach Mark Gibson. Craig Akers running the live stream feed tonight. As we're 30 seconds into this one, Lady Senators with their first possession. Nice feed down low, and Cassidy Keltner on the board quick with a basket at point-blank range. Give the Lady Senators a quick 2-0 advantage. Good first possession for the Lady Senators as they continue to apply pressure. Gerker with it out front, had it poked away for a moment. Quick feed down low underneath. And that one will go to Piper Acton. And she gets the Lady Cougars on the board. And we have our first tie at 2 apiece. Nearly a minute gone by, first quarter of play. Glad you could join us for this first Lady Senator broadcast of basketball here on WSLM this season. To the other end off the Lady Senator turnover. Gerker had it poked away, and it will stay here. Gerker's got pretty quick hands, Coach, a lot like our guards.
Yeah, she's showing some quickness there. She's taking it coast to coast, but Ryan did a nice job there. Got a little piece of the action there with the block down low.
Cross-court feed on the inbounds pass. Long three off the mark, no good for Acton. Rebound chased down, and we'll have a foul on Chelsea Carter as she goes flying into the end of the Lady Senator bench. Knocks Jody Gerker into the seats as well. That'll be our first foul of the night. And for Carter, obviously her first. Going to have to keep her out of some foul trouble. Lady Senators will need her perimeter threat. Gerker just inside the three-point line. Her shot in and out, no good. Nice block out by Cassidy Keltner. And that'll be foul number 1 on the night for the Lady Cougars of Trinity Lutheran. And this one will go on 45, Abby Hackman.
That's a great job by Cass. Did a really nice job of digging her out, putting body on body there, and nice box out. We can get them into foul trouble. That'd be great.
Little high two-post screen and
stop and go by Hattie.
Nice little hesitation for Griffiths. That's her go-to move. She's got her first 2 of the night. Lady Senators back out in front at 4-2. Poke away by Keltner for just a moment. Able to save it though underneath was Janes with the save. Hackman and Janes, the twin towers for the Lady Cougars. 6:17 to play, first quarter here from the Ron Smith court. Lady Senators out to the 4-2 advantage. 1-4 low set. They'll bring Janes out top. Gives it off to her teammate Hackman. Now to the high post to Acton. Acton on the kick out. Looks at Harwager. She dot about 3 and then kicks it back out. Dribble drive attempt. Cut off by Janes as she got into the paint. Lady Senators with a pretty solid 2-3 zone and good help side.
Yeah, we dropped into a little zone there, but like Coach said in pregame, that they don't mind being deliberate on the offensive side.
Back out front, Acton with it. She'll try another one, and this time it's from downtown as the Lady Cougars jump out to their first lead of the night at 5-4. Nearly 2.5 gone by in this first quarter of play.
That was downtown.
Double high screen out front. Hattie's going to go hesitation dribble and get to the rack again and be bodied on her way to the hoop. And this one will be whistled against Piper Acton. That'll be her first. Team foul number 2, 5:31 to play. Coach Lang will get an explanation from this crew, and they're going to call it in the act of shooting. So Hattie will go to the free throw line on the year. She's hit 70 out of 102 attempts for 69%. First free throw is up and rattles off the side. She'll get one more. Again, 5-4 here early. This one could go a long way in deciding a momentum swing for both of these clubs rolling into sectional 62.
Yeah, and these are important. We haven't even talked about free throws in a game of matched up of two top 10 teams. You know, the free throws and turnovers end up being just huge.
Hattie hits both of them, ties us back up for the second time at 5 apiece underneath. First turnover of the night for the Lady Cougars. Maddie comes up with the steal. Bausman takes it in transition, stops, thinks better of it, kicks it out to Carter. Spin move, left side, lays it off for Bausman. 3-ball on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound fought for. It'll come out to Gerker. She'll lead the break. Through 2-on-3 break, and we'll have a stoppage of play and a travel. So back-to-back turnovers for the Lady Cougars as the pace starts to quicken just a little bit in this first period.
I think that favors the Senators. I mean, if you talked about who likes to get up and down the court, that probably favors West Washington.
Coach Russell mentioned it. He wants this game to be in the 60s or 70s, wouldn't mind it one bit. Trinity Lutheran probably would settle for a game in the 40s as we'll have a stoppage of play. Not sure here. Somebody a little dizzy on the floor for the Lady Cougars.
Looked like she either took an elbow or something to the eye there.
Acton will come out. Looked a little dazed and confused. And Maddie Bell will check in for the Lady Cougars, 5'4" and a junior at 2.3 points per contest, seeing her first minutes of the night. 4:51 and counting. Lady Senators on the reset in the front court. Griffiths has it out front, works the dribble now between the circles, brings it off right side on the wing to Carter. He'll feed in the post to Keltner. She'll back her way down, turns around, shoots an air ball over the rim. Rebound comes off to the Lady Cougars before Maddie's able to come away with a near steal. It'll be a jump ball, and it'll go to the Lady Senators on the alternating possession with 4:34 to play. Trinity Lutheran controlled the opening tip fairly easy. Be a spread set or a universal set. Sometimes they refer to it as a spread, as well as Maddie takes a three out front off the inbounds pass. Nice offensive rebound by Cass Keltner. She leaves it off for Hattie, and Hattie gets two off the assist from Keltner, and the Lady Senators reclaim the lead at 7-5. Acton will come back in next dead ball for Coach Mike Lang, as it's going to be the big Sydney Janes, 6'1" freshman, bringing it up, and she leaves it off down low for Savannah Harwager. And Harwager has her first two of the night, 7-7. And then back to the other end. Chelsea Carter able to answer with a basket of her own. Back and forth we go as the Lady Cougars answer to the other end quickly. And that's going to be Sydney Janes with her first points of the night. Pace really quick right now. It's a track meet on both ends of the floor. Off the offensive rebound, Carter makes it home. They own an 11-9 advantage with 3:34 to play, and Coach Mike Lang has seen enough out of his club, doesn't like the pace or the effort on the boards, and it's a 30-second timeout for the Lady Cougars. While we have a moment, let's take 10 seconds to pause for station identification. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Back out of the timeout for Coach Lang and the Lady Cougars again. Probably didn't mind the bucket-for-bucket trade, but it was the effort down here on the defensive glass that he was not a fan of, Coach.
Right, Senators have 3 offensive boards already, so, you know, one of our keys, can we manage on the boards? Well, we're doing more than manage, we're actually leading.
Tightly contested battle here as Lady Cougars have had one lead, and now they're going to throw it away for the third time. They led briefly at 5-4 before Hattie tied it up with the free throw. Other than that, it's been the Lady Senators in control of this one as we roll down toward the 3-minute mark of the first quarter. Griffiths brings it into the front court. Little spread look, a little 4-out, 1 in. Keltner comes to the high post, fakes the handoff. Now we'll give it off to Griffiths. They miss Cassidy on the roll. Hesitation dribble. Cut off with real estate, nowhere to go. Hattie's going to step on the baseline. That'll be turnover number 2 for the Lady Senators.
Got caught too far underneath there. She was looking for Maddie diving to the bucket, but and Maddie saw it as well. She did, but by that time, Hattie had already stepped on the out-of-bounds line.
Here comes the 2-2-1 full court pressure for the Lady Senators.
The Cougars have actually done a pretty good job with it so far.
Hausman and Keltner in the middle of that press. Carter in the back playing safety. We'll have our first Lady Senator sub on the next dead ball. Jane's deep shot just inside three-point range goes. She's got 4 on the night. We're tied back up for the 5th time at 11 apiece. Neither team able to create much separation. Carter, baseline, she's shoved out of bounds. And Coach Lang thought it was similar to Hattie stepping out a while ago. Foul's going to go on Savannah Harwager. That's her first, team foul number 3. And it's going to be Taylor Fouch checking in for Ryan Russell. Fouch, 5'6", and a sophomore at 5.8 points per game and 3 rebounds. They go in the low block to Maddie, and she turns it over off the inbounds play. So in transition, the Lady Cougars tried to feed ahead, and the pass just a little bit too strong. And Coach Lang says, hey, we had nowhere to go with that. We didn't have numbers. Let's slow it down as they turn it over for the 4th time already in the period.
Yeah, sometimes when, we get to playing our tempo and fast, quicker, that sometimes the other team falls into that trap to playing that way too, and that's just not their game.
Underneath mid-post, Bousman feeds across to Griffiths. She's swallowed up by the double team, kicks it out to Fouch. She'll dribble drive, left side, nowhere to go. On the kick out goes to Carter, pull-up jumper, 18-footer will go. Smooth stroke for Carter. She's got 6 in the period. She breaks the tie once again. Lady Senators back on top at 13-11. Janes catches left baseline. Her shot is good. Janes with 6 as well to keep pace with Carter, and it's 13-13. And now we'll have a jump ball on the feed ahead into the front court, and on the alternating possession, it will go back to the Lady Cougars, so we'll count that as a turnover as well for the Lady Senators with 1:48 to play in the opening act.
Hattie got just a little bit too quick on that one. I'm not too sure that pass ahead was there, but that's her game. She likes to push, but that one probably wasn't there.
Lady Senators going with a little man-to-man defense in the half court. James turns around, little baby hook won't go. Keltner pulls down the strong defensive board. Back in transition. Griffiths, hesitation, stops, thinks about going again, brings it baseline to Bousman on the dribble handoff. Now out to Keltner, and Keltner will be whistled for the travel. So the Lady Senators with 5 giveaways already. We'll see Bailey Roll check in for her first minutes of the night, 5'4", and a senior, 2.5 points per game. As Carter and Keltner check out, also back in Ryan Russell, the 5'7" sophomore.
Yeah, Bailey's coming in. She's the last few games, she's really coming in and giving them good minutes off the bench. She's aggressive. She plays defense, and she's actually got a really nice 10-foot shot on the baseline there too.
She may just be 5'4", but she'll play the strong side of that zone, or she'll play the middle of it, either one. And rebound for you as well, although she doesn't get into the act there, and they give up the rebound to Gerker. She'll dribble it out of trouble, under a minute to play, first quarter. Acton has it, feeds in the post. James turnaround jumper, rims in and out, no good. Rebound off to Roll. Leaves it off now to Hattie, to Fouch in the front court. She has it, volleyball spiked into the bottom row of bleachers. James comes over on the help side in transition defense, swats that shot away. 13-13, tie ball game, 44.9 to go here in this first quarter of play. Bousman gets it on the inbounds play. She'll screen down low for Russell. She didn't have the 3. She'll take it on the drive, little sky hook, Magic Johnson style, won't go. And then a rebounding foul on the floor. And I think they may get Trinity Lutheran for this one, and they will. They're going to get Gerker for the shove. And that's her first one of the night. Team foul number 4, 36.2. Another universal spread set along the perimeter, trying to get a roll back to the basket. They'll go instead cross court to Griffith. She's cut off on the baseline. Now to Bousman. Stops, gives it off underneath. Nice job of threading the needle. And Bailey Roll with her first 2 of the night. Breaks the tie once again. Lady Senators back in front by 2 at 15-13. 20 seconds to play in the period. Roll offers help to James as she slides through the zone. Trying to get her on the low block against the much smaller Bailey Roll. Got rid of the shove off there and got by with it. Ball falls to the floor. Fouch in the middle of the scrum. It'll be another jump ball, and this time arrows in favor of the Lady Senators with 7.2. So plenty of time, Coach, but they got to recognize the situation here. Let's see if they can get it in. Russell gives the double thumbs up. We know what time we've got here. Griffiths bring it across. 4 seconds. 3, 2, hesitation, gets into the paint, stops, nowhere to go. And that shot will not count as we will come to a close here in this first quarter of play. Lady Senators lead it after an exciting first quarter of action. 15-13 on the scoreboard. We'll step aside, collect our breath, and we'll come back with second quarter action right after this.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something to fit your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com and check us out on Facebook and Twitter too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many because they paid so little.
Back to begin the second quarter of play. Trinity Lutheran opens up with the basketball, trailing at 15-13 after the first stop. Deep three from the left wing, or excuse me, a two-pointer. They'll say she towed the line for Maddie Bell. She's got her first points of the night off the bench, and we're tied for the 7th time at 15 apiece. Carter able to chase it down in the corner. Ball goes to Russell. She'll dribble drive now on the right side. Takes a tough shot. It will not go. Rebound pulled down by the Lady Cougars. Bringing it into the front court quickly. Harwager leaves it off for James, and she'll step out for a deep two. She's got 8, nearing her season average. And to the other end, Bowsman can't finish. Lady Cougars have their second lead at 17-15 as the rebound's pulled down by the Lady Cougars. But I tell you what, even though we said they might like to keep it at a slow pace, Trinity Lutheran looks very comfortable right now for the most part.
Yeah, they're playing up tempo. I'm kind of surprised because it is up and down the floor, and they're not backing down at all.
James with the tough shot over Bowsman. This time won't go right baseline. Lady Senators will push in transition. No numbers. 2-on-4 break. And the Lady Senators will turn it over. Their first one of the period. 6th of the first half. Into the other end will have no shot. A foul on the floor. And this one will go against Keltner. Her first. She made it through the first quarter without picking up a personal. This will be team foul number 3. In that first quarter alone, Coach. 6 ties, 2 lead changes. And we just had our third.
That's what you expect for 2 top 10 teams. And we've had a couple of little bunnies that are right in next to the rim. And she hasn't got the block. James hasn't, but she's definitely altered the shot.
James with an offensive rebound. Hackman got her own miss the first time and couldn't finish. So 3 shot attempts, and to the other end, we'll have a Lady Senator headed to the free throw line. It'll be Taylor Fouch off the tape as the foul will go against Abby Hackman, her second. So Lady Senators will settle for getting 1 of 2 and a little bit of early foul trouble here with 6:21 to go before the halftime break, and Bailey Rowe will check in after the first free throw from Fouch. On the year, Taylor 14 of 23 for 61%. Soaks the first one. That's her first point of the night.
And for the Cougars will be number 24, Roger Acton.
17-16. Maddie will check out of the ball game. Roll checked in for her. She'll get her first breather of the night. Second free throw on the way, and that one rattles home for Fouch, so give her 2 from the stripe, and we're tied once again at 17 apiece.
Senators again drop into that 2-3 zone.
Active hands out front.
Gotta
Carter
keep the
and Fouch
hands up.
out top. Roll coming out to help cover the free throw line, extended to the corner as the Lady Cougars turn it over for the 5th time. And then Carter will be tied up. It'll stay with the Lady Senators. Second quarter, 6:02 to play. Lady Senator basketball here. Several jump balls already. A little bit more than what we're used to on the boys' side of the ball. Yeah, as the Lady Senators get it quickly into the front court. Keltner catches high post, bobbled it for a moment. She'll be tied up, and right on cue, another jump ball situation. This one will go back to Trinity Lutheran at the 5:52 mark of the period. Turnover number 7 for the Lady Senators.
Yeah, Gurker did a nice job. They cast flashed into the lane, and Gerker is right there to get the hands in and get the tie up.
Gerker feeds it now left side to Acton. She'll stand and hold out front, a little 2-1-2 action, or a little 4 out, 1 in. As they get it to Janes in the middle, she's swarmed, and then she'll turn it over.
Cass did a nice job getting the steal.
Cass gets the steal from Janes, and then out of frustration, Janes will give up her first personal of the night, team foul number 6.
You know, Coach, before the game, Coach Russell said, I mean, we want to be physical with her because he even mentioned that she'll get frustrated a little bit if you get physical with her.
17-17, just
I
over
don't
2.5
think
gone
Cass
by in the
minds
period.
that job at all.
Underneath, Cass trying to hold her ground in the post against Piper Acton. Ball was tipped away. It'll stay with the Lady Senators. Fouch is checked out of the ball game. Right now on the floor for the Lady Senators, it's Carter out there with Russell. Roll.
Nice.
Keltner on the roll back, and she gets hammered along with Hattie Griffiths also on the floor. And this one going to go against number 24, and that's going to be Acton's second, and that's going to be the 7th team foul against the Lady Cougars. So that will put the Lady Senators in the bonus for the remainder of the half as Keltner goes to the free throw line. Just a 51% free throw shooter at 29 of 57. Leaves that one a little long.
Yeah, if we're going to be in the bonus for the next almost 5.5, we got to put those in.
She hits 1 of 2, breaks the tie. Lady Senators back out in front at 18-17, our 4th lead change of the night. Coming off that baseline, they'll try to feed down low. Janes catches in traffic, against 3, leaves the baby hook short. Mike Lang wanted a bump and a foul on the low block. He's not going to get it. Nearly 3 minutes gone by. He's not very happy with the lead official who is walking the baseline on that possession.
Yeah, that was a tough call. Bailey did a nice job getting the defensive rebound and right off.
Double dribble for Hattie Griffiths out front. Turnover number 8 for the Lady Senators.
As I say, just right off the bat, it hit off of a toe. It was tough to tell. Hattie just got caught there dribbling the ball too much. Head down. Got to have your eyes up.
Maddie Grace will check back in. Next dead ball for the Lady Senators. Bousman waits for the next dead ball. It'll be a long 2 on the way for Maddie Bell. That one won't go. Offensive rebound for Gerker, and she'll be fouled. So shortest girl on the floor usually is Hattie Griffiths. Tonight it's Gerker. And Roll's going to give up the personal. That'll be her first one of the night. Team foul number 4, and that'll send Jody Gerker to the line. We're on the year 18 of 29 for 62%. She'll try to capitalize here. She has not scored to this juncture. Leaves that one long, ugly, and off the side of the rim.
She may be the shortest, but man, she's active. She's quick. That's her second offensive board. 3 boards, couple assists, a steal, couple. I mean, she's all over the court, but free throw form didn't look real good there.
Second one is up, and that one a little bit smoother. She must have heard Coach Gibson's critique, so she cleans it up a little bit, and we're tied once again at 18 apiece. Our 9th tie of the half. Underneath, Carter tried to go to Keltner, who had evacuated the low block, but then we're going to have a travel right in front of Coach Lang's crew. So back-to-back turnovers, 9 for the Lady Senators, now 7 for the Lady Cougars. Carter to inbound in front of the Lady Cougar bench. Rolling up on the halfway point of this second frame. Underneath, Maddie tried to thread the needle to roll again. This is a turnover number 10, in fact, in the half, and to the other end. Gerker may have been fouled from behind. No whistle. Griffiths comes out of there with it. She'll push in transition. Little hesitation out front. Now crosses over and leaves it for Bousman. 3 ball on the way, in and out, no good. Rebound pulled down by the freshman Janes. She'll lead the break. 3 on 4, stops, pops, free throw line, won't go. Roll pulls down the rebound, and off we go again. Lady Senators back into the front court. 3:47 and counting. Another hesitation dribble, and Griffiths hits the basket, but whistle long before that. About halfway down the lane, and Coach Mike Lang all over this crew, and he's been known to be pretty volatile in the past on the sideline. Could be a little bit of a loose cannon, not happy. He'll have a seat before he's rung up with 3:45 to play.
Just last time down, or when couple times ago, I said, Hattie got caught with her eyes down. That time she did a nice job. Everything cleared out for her. Her eyes were up. She did her little hesitation, stop and go, and now she's to the line. That was a nice play by Hattie.
Maddie Bell picked up her first personal of the night. Griffiths misses the front end of the bonus. We're still stuck on 18 apiece, a low-scoring battle right where the Lady Cougars probably won it. James catches mid-post. May got away with another Texas two-step as they'll kick it out safely to Harwager. She sends it across the way to Bell. Now back out top to Gerker. Gerker looks down at the little box and one. And we have a stoppage of play. And Mike Lang, usually you don't see that. They actually stop play to give Mike Lang a warning, sideline warning. This crew said that they have heard enough, as he was just chewing on his crew from the Lagodi area. And they'll reset it. Rolling up on 3 minutes to go, and we'll have a whistle and a foul out front on Maddie. So Bousman will pick up team foul number 5. Maddie picks up her first of the night. 5 team fouls for the Lady Senators, 8 for the Lady Cougars, and Maddie battling underneath with the much taller Janes, and underneath, nice help side by Keltner. She pokes it away. Turnover number 8 for the Lady Cougars, and it'll stay with the Lady Senators as it was poked away from behind midcourt, and that'll draw some boo birds from the Trinity Lutheran faithful back behind us and to our immediate right.
I thought it was a good call. I'd say it actually went off Bell or somebody's foot. That's we're lucky Hattie was on a breakaway for a second.
James playing physical underneath now, trying to counter the physicality the Lady Senators have brought in the low block. Cassidy had her posted up for a minute. It'll be a 30-second timeout. And Coach Russell having a word with Hattie. Maybe she missed something that he was looking for there in that set. 2:56 to play, 30-second timeout for Coach Russell. So each side's burned a 30-second. Again, with 2:56 to go. Remind you that coming up, we'll have our Lady Senator halftime report brought to you by Eddie Gilstrap Motors. We'll bring you all the first half statistics and scoring from this very interesting and fast-paced contest thus far. Although it's low scoring, it has been at a NASCAR speed. Lady Senators will reset right in front of us at the scorer's bench. Keltner to inbound. She'll throw it to the backcourt, and Griffiths will be picked up by Bell at the timeline. She crosses into the front court, brings it left side, looking for Carter, and underneath we'll have a whistle and a foul, and they may get James for her second, working against Keltner. They will indeed, and that's going to bring Mike Lang off the bench, and this is the same guy that just gave him the warning. And now they'll have a little conference. Instead, against Keltner, it was James who picked up the foul, working against Fouch, and Fouch goes to the free throw line where she was already 2 of 2 on the night, make it 3 for 3 as she breaks the tie. Lady Senators back out in front at 19-18.
Yeah, Taylor's been clutch from the line so far.
Make her 4 of 4, didn't want to put the hex on.
No, I don't believe in that.
No, now 20-18, Lady Senators back in front by 2. No team having more than a 2-point advantage here in this first half thus far. As Gerker goes baseline left side, they leave it off for James mid-post. Her jumper won't go. Gerker, though, they can't keep her off the board. She's got at least a couple of offensive boards. Keltner swats the 6-1. James into the other end. It's going to be Fouch that's fouled.
Yeah,
and they're going to change it here. He may got a little help from the crowd behind us. I thought they were going to whistle some contact first. So nice defensive presence for Keltner on the help side as she blocks James coming out to help in that short corner area. Acton thought about throwing in the low post to James. They'll slide her across the lane now to the right side. Bousman picking her up. Trading her off now to Keltner. Splitting 2 defenders. It's Piper Acton who gets back to the rack. She's got 7.5, and we're tied once again at 20 apiece. And to the other
Bell
end.
with the steal.
Lady Senators with the turnover there, 12, sends it back to the other end, and it's James that answers with the 3. She's got 11 into double figures, right at her season average, 23-20. And the Lady Senators trying to answer. Keltner tried to feed underneath, threading the needle to Griffiths. Her shot wouldn't go. Then Maddie underneath maybe took some contact, and we'll have a jump ball underneath. And it'll stay with the Lady Senators with 1:23 to go in the half. Ryan Russell will check in for Chelsea Carter as she'll get a breather. 23-20. Spread look again along the perimeter. Underneath they find Bausman on the steal, and Maddie finishes off the window for her first 2 of the night. Make it now 23-22. Lady Senators need to buckle down here. Our largest lead just a moment ago at 3. And Coach Lang says, you know what, before we make a poor decision in the half court with 1:07 to play before the halftime break, he'll burn a full timeout. So we'll step aside and do one as well. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball tonight on WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
This is Kevin, and this is my Walmart.
This is Alicia, and this is my Walmart. This is Jessica, and this is my Walmart.
We're all part of Walmart, and we're all part of the local community. Walmart has contributed hundreds and thousands of dollars to the Salem and Washington County community in the past year. We've raised money for Salem's flood victims, local fundraisers, and donated to local law enforcement, the Community Foundation, and many other civic and private groups in the county. We're here to serve you with our unbeatable service and quality products and everyday low prices. I'm Jeff Rampy, and this is Salem's Walmart.
67 seconds to play before the half. It'll be Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougar basketball underneath their own basket. It'll be a 3-man stack. They'll bring Maddie Bell way out top. That'll be the release valve that they kick it out to. I don't know if they'll be patient enough to try to hold for one. Ball was poked away. It'll stay with the Lady Cougars. On the floor right now for the Lady Senators, it's Fouch with Russell and Griffiths in the backcourt. Up front, Bausman and Keltner. Underneath, nice feed on the short corner it goes to Savannah Setti, 5'4", and a senior in for her first minutes of the night. Acton will swing it across now to Harwager. She'll dribble back out, works against Bausman, crosses over, gets in the paint. She'll be fouled.
It's like Ryan got her on the arm.
This will be team foul number 6 for the Lady Senators.
This might be actually the smallest that Lutheran's been all game, with James and Hackman out.
So second personal of the night for Russell. And she'll check out of the ball game so she doesn't pick up a silly third with 44.8. Carter back into the ball game. Lady Senators trying to hang tough here, shorthanded without the services of one of their post leaders, Cora Miller, out with mono. As
this is
both free throws missed by Harwager. She stays on 2 points for the night, and we'll have a foul back to the other end. Trinity Lutheran faithful thought it was a clean swipe, and this one will go against Acton, and that will be her third. So she's in a little bit of trouble. Janes and Hackman with 2 apiece as well. Now Coach Lane will argue that that's not her third. And this group from Trinity Lutheran back up behind his coach about to blow a gasket as she'll have to check out into the ball game. For her first minutes of the night will be Emma Gerker, 5'8", and a sophomore. So Coach Lane going 8 deep into his rotation, and now 2 of the 3 officials will meet to talk about it at the high post. And they're going to say that the call was correct. Actually, Jody Gerker, the speaking captain for the Lady Cougars, asked them to confer and double check. Fouch to the free throw line.
Both.
She misses both of them.
Maddie
and
over
a
the back.
Rebounding foul on Bausman will be her second, team foul number 7. So now we'll walk to the other end of the floor, and roll likely to come in for Maddie so that she doesn't pick up a third foul. 38.4.
Substitution.
On the board, 23-22, Lady Cougars clinging to that 1-point lead.
Number 5.
And Bousman will get a word from Coach Darren Russell as we walk to the other end. And guess who? Jody Gerker, a big rebounding presence, coach, for someone just with a 5'4" stature. First free throw is up and good. How many she got on the night?
4, but 3 of them offensive.
24-22. She'll try to extend it back out to a 3-point advantage, largest for either team in this first half. And that one rattles in and out, no good. Keltner pulls it down, and she tracks it to the near corner. And Griffiths will work the dribble out top. 30 seconds to play. Little dribble weave handoff out front, similar to what we see sometimes from Coach Smith's boys club. Lady Senators, though, careless with it. They turn it over, and Trinity Lutheran will have a chance for one shot. They want a little 5-out spread, probably a little pass and slash, similar to Mike Miller's Lanesville Eagles on this last possession. Cutters through the paint, as expected. Out front, Harwager with it, 5 seconds. Force gets it back now to Maddie Bell. Into the post. She'll throw it in to Savannah Setti, and the 2 5'4" girls on the floor right now really punishing the Lady Senators in the paint and causing them fits with 5/10 of a second left. Lady Senators will commit team foul number 8, and that'll be 2 on Bailey Roll as she will foul Setti. She goes to the line for the first time this evening, 0 of 4 on the year. And what a time to hit her first, Coach. She rattles that one home.
Coach Russell complaining one of the girls stepped off the lane and they didn't see it.
25-22 matches the largest lead of the night for either ball club at 3. She'll try to make it the largest if she knocks them both down here, and that one long as Hattie tracks down the rebound, and that'll be it for the first half of play. We'll go into the locker room with not a whole lot settled, but the Lady Cougars come to town, and they'll own the 25-22 advantage into the halftime break. A battle of number 5 versus number 10 in girls Class 1A basketball. Coach Gibson and I will step aside, collect our breath and some stats, and we'll come back to begin our Eddie Gilstrap Motors halftime report right after this word from a few of our sponsors.
Police, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. You know, let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy. He knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, nah, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Again, our Lady Senator halftime report brought to you by the good folks just south of the square in Salem there on South Main Street. Eddie Gilstrap Motors, your local Ford Chrysler dealer. At the half, 25-22, Lady Senators trail up by 3. They trailed up by 3 on 2 different occasions, including this one, and that is the largest lead for either ball club to this point through the first 16 minutes of play. Let's run down scoring first for the Trinity Lutheran Lady Cougars, again sitting at number 5 in the latest Class 1A poll. 2 points for Jody Gerker off of free throw shooting, 2 of 4, in fact, all in that second quarter, but a menace as well, scrapping and fighting for rebounds. Senators having some trouble with her in the paint. Savannah Harwager chips in 2. It goes 0-2 from the free throw line. Piper Acton was 7 at the half, including 2 two-point field goals and a 3-point make to her credit. Sydney Janes, the team's leading scorer at 12.5 per game. The 6'1 freshman chipping in 11 to pace the attack, including a triple made in that second quarter. Abby Hackman started but went scoreless in that first half of play, although she battled some early foul trouble and had to sit for a while as well. Savannah Setti, Maddie Bell, and Emma Gerker all play off the bench for Coach Lang. Setti chips in 1 of 2 free throws. Bell goes with 1 basket through the first half of play, a 2-point make in the second period, and Emma Gerker goes scoreless off the bench for Coach Lang, whose team turns it over 8 times in the first half, and they go just 3 of 8 from the free throw line for 38%. Meanwhile, for the Lady Senators, at the half, the number 10 team in Class 1A in this top 10 matchup. Hattie Griffith starts tonight at the point as always. 5 points for her, all in that first quarter of play, including 1 of 3 from the free throw line. Ryan Russell, a rare half for her, scoreless thus far in this key and pivotal matchup. Chelsea Carter, 6 points all in the first quarter. Maddie Bausman with 2 points coming in that second frame. Cassidy Keltner with 3, including 1 of 2 from the free throw line. Off the bench, Taylor Fouch and Bailey Roll see action in the first half. Fouch chips in 4 points, all from the charity stripe. She hit her first 4, missed her last 2. Bailey Roll with 2 points off the bench in that first quarter of play. Lady Senators go 6 of 11 for 55% in that first half of action and commit 13 turnovers, which is really one of the tells of the tape in this first half. After the first quarter stop, it was 15-13. Lady Senators out in front by 2, but they get worked 12-7 in that second frame and manage only 1 field goal in that second stanza, and that leads us to the 25-22 lead for the Lady Cougars at the break. We'll step aside, get another word in from a sponsor, and we'll come back. Coach Gibson will have some of the team statistics for you as we roll on with more of our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Lady Senator halftime report right after this.
Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about MediView, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back courtside, Ron Smith Court here, where we have halftime stats for you. Right now it's 25-22 to Lutheran over the Lady Senators. I thought you said it best. The tail of the tape was the 13 turnovers. And yes, we went 1 for 4 that quarter. So we only got 4 shots up, whereas Lutheran got 11 shots up inside the arc. But totals, Lutheran 8 of 22 from inside the arc, 36%. 2 of 3 from behind the arc, 67%. Compare that to 0 for 4 for the Senators. So before the game, we were talking about, okay, if somebody's going to step behind the arc and win this game, it's probably going to be the Senators. Not so fast, as Lee Corso would say, because we're 0 for 4, Lutheran 2 for 3. We're 8 of 16 inside the arc for 50%, but we only got 16 shots up in the entire half. So, obviously that points to a lot of turnovers. If we only get 16 shots up and, they get up 22, something something's wrong there. We're turning the ball over too much. One of our main keys was rebounding. Senators actually leading the rebounding edge 16-11, each team with 5 offensive boards. So the Senators hanging tough on the boards. Cass Keltner has 6 boards. Bailey Rolls come in with 3, so nice job. A couple people with 2. Leading rebounder for the Lady Cougars, is it James? No. Is it Hackman? No, it's 5'4" Jody Gerker with 4, so 3 offensive. So she's really crashing the boards. That's something that maybe our guards aren't finding her or something to box her out, or we're leaking out or something, but you know, we're going to have to do a better job of keeping her from crashing the glass. So everything else seems pretty equal. 3 blocks for the Senators. You know, Keltner, Bousman, and Russell each with a block. Several deflections for the Senators. Everything's about even except for the turnovers. I don't know how many they had, but what did you say? 8. So 13-8. So yeah, that's, you know, it's a 3-point ball game. So the Senators hanging in there, but we've got to do a better job protecting the basketball. And honestly, we just did. There's a couple. Russell 0 for 4. Bousman 1 for 7. I mean, we got to get some scoring out of those 2 if we're going to expect to win this ball game in the second half.
That'll do it for our Eddie Gilstrap Motors Lady Senator halftime report. Stick with us. When we come back from the break, we'll have third quarter action. Lady Senators out of the locker room showing it 25-22. We'll come back with that third quarter play right after this.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
To begin our third quarter of play. Lady Senators trailing it by 3. Lady Cougars will open up with the basketball to start the half. And we'll have a stoppage of play and we'll reset. Music was still rolling as Beth Bousman had to come to the rescue in the absence of Phillip, who is busy kind of chasing his own tail around here with all 4 gyms hopping the night with ball games. On the miss, Cassidy Keltner, she'll take it coast to coast off the break, but have it poked away from behind last minute by Jody Gerker, who tracks it down and pokes it away, but it'll stay with the Lady Senators. Good strong take and confidence, though, out of Cass to bring that out of traffic.
Yeah, she's been very aggressive today.
Underneath, she gets the seal on the row back, and she's got 5 now on the night, make it 25-24, and the Lady Senators will apply some 2-2-1 full court pressure, and it'll be an offensive foul as Gerker's whistled for the player control. First turnover of the half for either ball club, and for Gerker, her second personal, team foul number 1, or first of the half for either squad.
Hattie did a nice job actually cutting her off right at the corner there, right? So she did a really nice job defensively. You know, we kind of got away from the press a little bit. I don't know if it was just a foul trouble situation or not, but we opened up with it there and got the turnover.
Lady Cougars crowding the post. Keltner with the wild turnaround. It will not go. Ball tipped out. Russell will give chase as she tips it to Carter. Now back to Maddie. Well, she'll work it against Janes on the crossover. Feeds it high post. Opposite kick to Keltner. She misses the shot. And they may get Maddie for an over the back against Janes. And in fact, they do, as Maddie picks up her third personal. Team foul number 1 of the half. And the Lady Senators will go back to more of a 2-2-1 set here. And match up out of it as Maddie will try to deny Janes. She gets it in and brings it through traffic on her own. Minute gone by here in the third. And they'll kick it back out to Gerker now as she'll reset. Working a little Bermuda triangle inside. They're trying to get it to Janes as she flashes high post. Then down to either ball side block. She gets it in the high post this time. Turns, looks. Hackman back into the ball game. Both teams back with their original starting 5. Gerker again looks in the high post. Both teams kind of stagnant here, but Lady Senators trying to wreak havoc with this 2-3 zone. They'll kick cross court. Nice feed as James finds Gerker, and she's got her first field goal of the night. Give her 4 in the ball game, and it's 27-24. And it's going to be a Lady Senator turnover. But then they may get James here for the player control with the elbow. They are, and that's going to bring Mike Lang off the bench again for the same official. So Lady Senator turnover. Off the turnover, James out of control with the elbows. Second turnover of the half for the Lady Cougars. 10 now in all, and that one will go against James as the personal. She picks up her third. And that might be number 4.
I think you're right.
Back to back, in fact it is, and James now in foul trouble with those 4 personals. Third team foul. She's going to have to sit for a while. Coach Lang may roll the dice early in the 4th or at the end of this period if it starts to be a turning of the tide here, as we're going to see Piper Acton check in and James will check out with the 4 personals. She picked up the player control, just picked up one there on the rebound effort. Keltner missed the first. Second one is good. So Keltner on the night, 3 in each half thus far for her 6 points. Making now 27-25. 2 minutes gone by in the third. Dribble drive handoff to Acton. She gets into the paint. She can't finish the runner. Carter will track it down and try to get the handle on it. Tried to leave it off, and before she could leave it for Maddie, she'll be whistled for the double dribble. And that'll draw a scowl from Coach Darren Russell.
I mean, they're the kinds of turnovers that, I mean, if you're a month away from sectional, that you got to get rid of those if you want a championship.
Coach doesn't pull my hair out in October, November. Just need to keep that dribble. If you're a guard, no need to try to look to give it off. If you still got the dribble, Hackman on the kick out, 3 ball on the way, in and out, no good. Keltner tracks it down off the miss from Acton. Russell quickly into the front court, off to Carter. They've been quiet from 3. Bingo! Carter with her first triple of the night. She's got 9 in the contest. It's 28-27. The Lady Senators have reclaimed the lead, our 6th lead change of the night. Lady Senators giving chase now with the full court pressure. They get a tip into the high post. Acton gets it. This time the runner won't go again off glass. Dangerous moment there as Acton falls into the knee of Maddie Bausman. Both players okay as they hop up. 5:09 to play, third quarter. What a timely 3 for Carter. Lady Senators usually burn it up from outside, Coach, and they go 19 minutes almost without a 3-pointer before Carter's, but Gerker answers back with a long-range 2-point jumper. And the Lady Cougars back out in front, 29-28, lead change number 7, and now we'll have a carry on the hip as Griffiths gets tagged for the turnover. That's now 16 in the game for Coach Russell's ball club.
And I think is that right around there, that's their average, right? So they still have a quarter and 5 minutes to go, and they've already got their average.
They average 16.7 turnovers per game. As had a nice hustle play by Keltner. She goes sliding out of bounds past the scorer's bench. 4:50 to go, third quarter.
If you're going to approach 20 turnovers, you know, and probably 20 plus the way it's going, and expect to win against the top 10 team, you're fooling yourself. You got to protect the ball better.
And as you said, a lot of these very careless ones at that this evening. On the kick out, Griffiths will try to run it down, and she'll bump Maddie Bell in the backcourt, knock her to the floor. And Griffiths picks up the personal. That'll be team foul number 2.
There's a couple times I wanted my DBs to be that aggressive.
And trust me, we've had some that's been very frisky in the past. 4.5 to play here in the third. Gerker trying to dribble out of trouble. She'll bump Griffiths. Ball got slung into the backcourt, touched. And now we'll have another little nickel dimer of the bargain basement variety. This one on Griffiths again after she got bumped off of.
Yeah, it looked like she got an
elbow.
elbow.
On-ball defense a while ago on Gerker. Gerker pretty sneaky with that forearm, knows how to use it to create some space. 4:27 to play. That was team foul number 3 for the Lady Senators. And then an and one at the other end. Nice move
Harwager.
down low. Harwager with the basket, her second of the night. Chance for an old-fashioned three-point play. 31-28, matching the largest lead of the night for the Lady Cougars. They've had it at 3 now on 3 different occasions. Just can't ever get it extended, as Griffiths is going to have to check out that last Senator foul on Cassidy Keltner, her second, team foul number 4, and Harwager to the line where she finishes the old-fashioned three-point play. Largest lead now of the evening for either squad at 4, 32-28. Lady Cougars out in front.
Can the Senators answer? You know, they hit the big 3 to take the lead back, but then ever since then it's been the Cougars. So can we answer?
Spacing not very good right now as Bausman has it out front. She'll be bumped and fouled by Gerker, her third, team foul number 4. So a small ball lineup of sorts for Coach Lang with Hackman in. She was the one that battled early foul trouble, and now it's the freshman Janes on the bench with those 4 personals. So she'll try to hold the fort for the Lady Cougars in the paint halfway through this third quarter. 32-28. High post feed to Bausman. She'll take it in, couple of dribbles, and hit the little runner.
Nice aggressive move.
Almost into a baby hook off the runner. Bausman connects. She's got 4 on the night. Make it 32-30. Back to the other end. Harwager picked up by Bausman. She'll kick it out top to Bell. Bell swings it across court now, left side to Acton, underneath to Hackman. And Hackman gets her first points of the night, back to a 4-point advantage at 34-30.
Has a nice find inside, but Cass overplayed it. Kind of left her all alone down there at on the post.
Gerker had the poke away across the way against Russell, who got the feed on the wing. 3:27 to go. Lady Senators will reset. Fouch, Keltner, Bausman, Ryan Russell, and Chelsea Carter as Carter brings it back into the front court. Motion set now, out of the box look. They'll feed down low. Good feed as Fouch drops the dime to Bausman, and Maddie knows what to do. She drops it in the piggy bank. She's got 6 now on the night, and it's 34-32. Back to a 2-point spread.
Chelsea did a nice job, little back tip there.
We talk about the boys, a lot of deflections for them, especially for a guy like Holden Bausman with those quick hands. Lady Senators much the same. They feed off of those back taps and those tips ahead that turn into steals and layups at the other end.
And even not all turn into those, but they take their toll. They take their toll.
Underneath, they'll try to lob it to Hackman. Ball poked away. It'll stay with the Lady Cougars.
Taylor did a nice job helping out down low. Savannah
Setty's checked in for Gerker. She'll get a break with those 3 personals with 3:06 to go here in the third. Box set for the Lady Cougars. They'll cross the floor in the paint. Can't get it into the paint. They'll kick it out instead to Gerker, who goes to Hackman. Her long 2 won't go. Ball poked out of there, and coming up with it nearly was Setty. And it was Carter who poked it away. It'll stay with the Lady Cougars. And Bailey Rowe will check in for Maddie Bausman. So Lady Senators going super small with their lineup, just with Keltner out there to hold the fort on the block at 5'11".
I let one slip away there. We had a chance, had 2 people there to get that defensive rebound, and it ends up they get another possession.
2:44 and counting third quarter. Lady Senators trailing at 34-32. They grabbed a brief lead at 28-27. Lady Cougars answered, and they do again. Nice looking jump shot there by Acton from the high post. She's able to bank it in Tim Duncan style. She's got 9. It's 36-32. And Coach Lang continues to bark out instructions for his girls on the defensive end. Lady Senators will have a sideline stack. They'll double screen on the stagger for Carter, who gets it in. Brings it back to the middle of the floor, works it between the circles, now sends it off right side, deep wing to Russell. High post feed to Roll. Nearly got away with a travel. Not sure if she actually did, but it looked close. And now we'll have a foul. It's going to be a player control with the shove off. That'll be team foul number 5 of the half. Ryan Russell will pick up her third, and that'll be turnover number 4 of the second half of play as Russell will check out. Griffiths back in with the 2 personals.
Yeah, this seems like a little bit of a danger time here. It's only a 4-point lead, but that seems larger tonight. I mean, considering that is the largest lead of the evening by either squad, I mean, it just seems like if you get down 8 or so tonight, it could be game over.
Keltner with the poke away from behind on the deflection, so the Lady Cougars will reset. And they'll bring it out top now with Harwager. She'll dribble, hand off to Acton. Working a little three-man weave. Now they'll get the roll in the middle. Hackman, nice pump fake, counted in one, and she takes it from the free throw line all the way to the hoop. Nice pump fake to get the defender in the air a little bit, get a little bit of movement. Hackman has 4, looking for 5 with an and one possibility, make it 38-32. And that's our largest spread of the night. As Coach Gibson says, you get an 8 or 10 point lead in this style of game tonight, it could be lights out. It's a full timeout for Coach Darren Russell and company, so we'll step aside and take one as well. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball tonight on your leader for Southern Indiana sports coverage, WSLM 1220 on the AM dial.
Channel seamanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Back out of the full timeout for Coach Darren Russell and his Lady Senators. They trail at 38-32, minute 57 to go here in the third. Back to the free throw line we go for the old-fashioned three-point play opportunity. Abby Hackman on the year, 37 of 68 for 54%. Free throw is up and long, off the mark, no good. Roll there to track her down. Lady Senator fans in the house thought that Roll may have took some contact. Hesitation dribble for Griffith. She feeds cross court to Roll. She'll get into the paint, and we'll have a whistle and a foul on the floor. Let's see if they get Hackman or Harwager, both there at the scene of the crime. They'll get Hackman. That'll be her third. Team foul number 5. Lady Senators have committed 6 personals to this juncture. Long kick out. Griffiths gets it. Swings it back in the corner now to Fouch. Out top to Carter. Her fadeaway won't go or count because it'll be waved off for a drag of the pivot foot. Turnover number 5 now of the half for the Lady Senators. 18 overall, surpassing their 16.7 turnover per game average.
Almost have to do something to
change the tempo.
Yes,
a little
change
bit.
tempo, change momentum, something. So he did it. Did it through the press at him right there and got the turnover.
Turnover number 11 on the night for the Lady Cougars. Griffiths controls it out front. Leaves it off for Fouch. Looks in the post. Mid-post feed to Keltner will be poked away. 6 turnover of the period for the Lady Senators. And to the other end, we'll have a whistle and a foul. Looks like we may have got away with a little extra step, a little Euro, Allen Iverson style. Foul's going to be Griffiths' third. Team foul number 7, so the Lady Cougars resting comfortably with a 6-point advantage, Coach, with 9+ minutes of action left to go in regulation and already into the bonus as Savannah Harwager steps to the line, a 62% free throw shooter. Lady Cougars overall in the year not too stellar, Coach. 136 and 229 for just 59%.
She's knocked down her last couple here. That's, you know, make sure you box out with a
She
three
got
in a row.
Got them both.
And there's your 8-point lead. So you have to do something. You have to stop the bleeding here. Somebody's got to make a bucket. And that's they put up twice as many shots as us. Again, it comes to turnovers.
Nice dribble drive take for Russell. Her floater won't go. Hackman pulls it down, stops short of the timeline, and gives it up now to Acton. Coach Lang says, hey, let's pull this thing out under a minute to play and let's start burning up some clock as we roll toward the quarter break. Lady Cougars leading at 40-32. Little dribble weave out front. Acton stops, pops, 16-foot jumper in and out, no good. Hackman tried to go over the back of Roll, but it's Carter that comes out there with it. Nice feed in the paint to Russell, who slid across to catch that pass. Her shot blocked away. 34.3, and substitutions coming in. We'll see number 30, Savannah Sabotin, check in, 5'11", and a freshman. She'll check in for her first minutes. He'll roll the dice with Gerker, who comes back in. Jody Gerker with 3 personals.
Yeah, they're just trying to steal 34 seconds here.
And this is all happening with the freshman scoring sensation, Sydney Janes, on the bench with those 4 personals as Russell misses the 3. Quickly in transition, Harwager leads the 2-on-2 break. Leaves it off for
Bell.
Maddie Bell, indeed, across the way. And Bell picks up her second field goal of the night, 42-32.
That's, no.
And Bailey Roll will pick up the personal. That'll be a player control and a turnover as well. So the wheels quickly flying off for Coach Russell's club. 42-32, 10-point deficit with 16.4 to play here in the quarter. They get it to Gerker. And we'll have a stop of play. And Coach Russell is going to get a warning. So this is very odd. Usually you don't see this out of an officiating crew, but this group, again, out of the Lagodi area, being very generous to both Lang and Russell. Russell fed up with the lack of calls on his end of the floor. He gets a bench warning. So next blow up for either coach is going to result in a technical.
It was on the sideline, maybe?
It's going to be a turnover for the Lady Cougars.
Well, you got 12.8.
Maddie to
Senators
inbound.
need a bucket bad.
Carter, Russell, Roll, and Fouch. Under 10 seconds to play. Carter, dribble drive, right side for Fouch. 3 ball, no good, off the mark. Rebound fought for, and it's Gerker who comes out of there with it. They'll try to throw it ahead, and they cannot get a shot off as the third quarter will come to a close. Tempers flaring a little bit. The action is picked up, but the spread has widened for this Lady Cougars ball club, the number 5 team, trying to hold off number 10 here in the Berg tonight. They'll take a 42-32 advantage heading into the 4th and final quarter of action. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball tonight on Salem's 1220.
With the helpful hardware, folks.
I needed a cooler for our annual fishing trip, and I heard Ace has Yeti.
Jack was right. We do have Yeti coolers. I told him about the permafrost insulation and the fact that Yeti coolers are built for the wild, and that Yeti Tundra is guaranteed grizzly-proof.
Ace is a place with grizzly-proof Yeti coolers.
Back to start the 4th quarter of action here from the Ron Smith court. Hotly contested battle of top 10 teams in Class 1A. Lady Cougars, though, own the advantage, the largest lead of the night at 10, 42-32 as we open up the 4th quarter of play. Lady Senators with the rock and a chance to get it back to single digits. Dribble handoff, hesitation, Griffiths into the paint. She got the layup to go. She's got 7 on the night. Lady Senators will get out the ice pick and continue to start chipping away. Underneath, Maddie with the steal on the cross-court pass attempt from Hackman. They'll leave it off now for Griffiths, who gives it to Carter in the low block area. Now to the short corner. Nowhere to go with it. Cassidy had to kick it out of trouble. Keltner back to Carter, who stops, pump fake. Her shot won't go off the glass. Rebound fought for and coming out of there with it. For the Lady Cougars, had it poked away. Keltner's done a nice job of getting her hands on a lot of basketballs, but in a smart way tonight. Coach usually battles foul trouble. Tonight, just 2 thus far.
Yeah, and she's been very aggressive the whole night. She's had a nice ball game.
She can play a little free and loose defensively. Is that time a little too free and loose? They find Hackman underneath. She's got 6, and it's 44-34, back to a 10-point advantage. High screen by Bousman, and on the dribble drive, Hattie will be fouled by Maddie Bell. Her second team foul, number 6. Next one will put the Lady Senators in the bonus.
Kind of got bailed out there, too. I'm not too sure she had any place to go with that, but we'll take it.
Carter to inbound, gives it to Bousman. High post, left side, 17-foot jumper will go. Yes, Bousman has now her 8th point of the night. Maddie gets it back to 8 at 44, 36, 6:50 and counting. Full court pressure applied again. Gerker drives right through it, leads it off for a wide open Abby Hackman, who has the 2 baskets thus far for the Lady Cougars in the period. Back to 10 it goes at 46-36. Not the time to be trying to trade baskets. Hesitation drive. Griffiths bumped by Hackman. No whistle. Clean block out of bounds. It'll stay with the Lady Senators. Minute and a half gone by in the fourth. Lady Senators trying to dig themselves out of a hole here. They'll screen across. They'll find Keltner on the mid block. They'll kick out to Maddie, whose 3 goes in and out, no good. Cassidy offensive rebound, back up and in. Keltner's got 5 in this half, 8 in the ball game, make it 46-38. And now a 3-on-2 break. Lady Senators will catch up as the Cavalry arise to help defensively. Coming up on the 6-minute mark, Russell will come out and apply some pressure now. Lady Senators may have to start gambling some, even though they've got 7 or 8 personals whistled against them.
You can't play too passive here, especially, but we can't give up layups like we did the last 2 times. I mean, you said it, they're only, well, that's fine. Let's put them at the line. If they're 59% or whatever, make them shoot free throws. Make them hit the free throws instead of layups.
The problem is you're taking a shooter out of the ball game with that foul. Yeah. That's Russell's 4th. If she'd reach with the hand, and we talk about this with the boys, if they will just reach, and I know it's sometimes just natural reaction, but a reach with the hand closest to the ball pokes that out into an open space for her to track it down for a possible layup.
And you're longer. I mean, you're just longer using that other arm.
And we remind you that Sydney James, the 6'1 freshman, leading scorer for this Lady Cougars ball club, still on the bench with those 4 personals. To the line, Piper Acton, she hit the first. Second one rattles in and out, no good, 47-38. And we'll have a rebounding foul as we walk to the other end. This will be team foul number 7, so both teams in the bonus the rest of the way home.
And that'll be Gerker's 4th. Yeah, Gerker tried to get the little back tap, a little steal, and got a little bit of the wrist.
Keltner back to the free throw line, 2 of 4 on the night, which puts her right at her season average of 51%. First one is up and long, off the mark, no good. Lady Senators try to track it down. Bousman and Keltner with the trap in the backcourt. They'll feed ahead, and Bousman will be whistled for the touch foul, and that'll be Maddie's 4. So you got Maddie and Ryan with 4 apiece. You got Bailey Roll and Griffiths with 3 apiece. And on the other side of the book, Gerker and Janes have 4 apiece. Hackman has 3, and Acton has 3. Substitutions forthcoming here as Hackman goes to the free throw line. She's 0 for 1 on the night. Just a 54% free throw shooter. Cashes in on that one. Make it 48-38. Back to a 10-point game. Bousman will have a seat. Hackman's got 9 on the night, looking to get into double figures. She averages 11.9 per game as that one rattles in and out. And Keltner pulls the rebound. Quickly to the other end, operating in a 10-point deficit. Carter skips it cross court to Fouch. Dangerous pass. She's knocked to the floor. We'll have a whistle and a foul. Team foul number 8. This one will go against Savannah Setti, and that'll be her first one of the evening. And Fouch back to the free throw line where she's been fairly solid. She started out, she hit 4 of 4. Before dropping those last 2. So 4 of 6 overall on the night. Normally a 61% free throw shooter. First one is up, and that one no good. So the Lady Senators' struggles continue from the stripe here this evening. Got to get the free ones where you can with the clock stopped down 10.
The last 2 front ends.
So 4 points blown here. That would have got it to 6.
Right.
And you're a lot more comfortable working with 5:25 to play. It'll be a full timeout for Coach Mike Lang and his Lady Cougars with 5:25 to go. Coach Gibson and I will step aside, take a break, and we'll come back with more fourth quarter action right after this.
Looking for your next new or used car? Then head on down and check out the deals at John Jones Auto Group in Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, and Greenville. Whether you visit the lot and take a test drive or visit the virtual showroom online at johnjonesautogroup.com, you'll find the largest selection of GM cars in Kentuckiana. Whether it's a car, truck, or minivan, John Jones Auto Group has something to fit your style and your budget. Bad credit? No problem. We will find the financing that's right for you. At John Jones, we pride ourselves at finding the right deal for your situation. Call or visit today, 1-800-473-5546, or go online at johnjonesautogroup.com. And check us out on Facebook and Twitter, too. John Jones Auto Group, the largest dealer in southern Indiana, serving Salem, Corydon, Scottsburg, Greenville. You see so many because they paid so little.
Back out of the timeout by Coach Lang and the Lady Cougars. Strong take left side. It will not go for Harwager, and the Lady Senators back in action. Down 10, Roll will try to take it herself, gets into the paint. She'll be bumped. No contact foul there, and she has to kick it out to Carter. High post now from Fouch to Keltner. Back out to Griffiths. Hesitation dribble. She goes baseline, and she will nearly throw it away. They'll say last touch on the tip by the Lady Cougars.
Yeah, I think it was Acton. Got just a little bit of a fingertip on it, but bailed us out there too. That just wasn't there. I mean, we got to be smarter.
We find ourselves getting trapped a lot of times on that baseline. We allow ourselves to see that baseline as a sixth defender on the floor and sometimes nowhere to go with it. We've been cut off a few times as the Lady Senators dry on that possession. Nice take by Acton. Her runner won't go. Hackman there to fight Keltner for the rebound, but Keltner comes away with it. Quickly into the front court. Carter spins, tries to get into the paint. Her shot won't go. Roll fighting for the rebound. It comes off now to Harwager. She'll leave it off now to Acton. And Acton gets her second field goal of the half. She's got 5.5, now 12 in the ball game. 50-38, largest lead underneath. Griffiths, her shot left short. Hackman out of there with it again, and we'll see Russell and Bousman check in. We made mention of it already, Coach. Just one three-pointer on the night for this Lady Senator Club, and that is a rare sight.
Yeah, and it's right now, you can tell Trinity Lutheran is like, okay, under 4 minutes now. They're going to start taking a little time off the clock. Yeah, we've struggled. We haven't really even shot a whole lot of threes.
Hackman with the three. Could have been the nail in the coffin. That goes in and out, no good. Carter had it, lost it. Turnover, and that's going to result in a trip to the free throw line as Acton gets fouled. You can see some Lady Senators start to grab for the shorts. Right now, a little fatigue, a little short-handed, really missing Corden Miller's athleticism and her post presence as well here tonight.
And basically, when they started to take, the lead up from 4 to 6 to 8, now we're at 12. The free throw rims out. You've noticed the Cougars have gotten a lot more easy buckets than we have. I mean, it's just they've had 4 or 5 layups where we're just struggling right now to find any points.
Bell checks out for the Lady Cougars. Roll and Griffiths out for the Lady Senators. And it is Acton.
Even 1 out of 2 is tough for the Senators right now.
She gets 1 out of 2, makes it 51-38. And back to the other end. Lady Cougars just trying to put the dagger in the heart of this Lady Senator defense, and they're going to draw another personal. This will be team foul number 11 of the half now, and that'll be Keltner's third. Fouch picked up the last one, her second. 3:25 to play. Harwager will go to the free throw line. She is 3 of 5 on the night for 60%.
This is right where, we talked about whose tempo is going to come out on top. This is right where they want to play. 38 is not where the Senators want to play,
Sure.
It's just, and we haven't shot the ball well. We've turned the ball over way too much. I mean, and then we don't block out.
So even when you get them to miss 2 from the free throw line, it spells trouble as Jane's back in with those 4 personals now. Rolling up on 3 minutes to go. Pump fake for Acton, had it poked away. Last touch by Acton. Turnover number 6 of the half.
Deflection.
Lady Senators got to do some digging in quick.
Yeah, somebody's got to put the ball in the hoop, or with 3:10 to go, we're down 13. Somebody's got to score.
Don't necessarily have to be a 3, although the Lady Senators will turn that over. It went right through the hands of Maddie Bousman. It was a high pass to the mid-post. Probably could have used a bounce pass there as Fouch commits the turnover. 9th of the half. Now 22 turnovers in the game against the number 5 team. Even if you're at home, that's a tough, tall task to try to overcome, as Keltner has the tip, the steal to Russell, and then the Lady Senators lose it right back. Turnover number 10 of the half. Gerker to the other end. She's blocked by Bausman, and it'll stay with the Lady Cougars. 2:54 to play. 51-38, largest lead of the night, as the spread has grown to 13. Box set for the Lady Cougars. Lady Senators will match up. Carter will roam free instead of guarding the inbounder. We'll throw it out to Hackman. High post now to Gerker. And they'll slide Hackman to the ball side block on the corner feed. A little Phil Jackson triangle style of offense. And Hackman gets the bucket. Big night for her. 7 alone in this period. 11 in the game, right at her season average. 53-38.
That'll be 5, a little ticky-tack.
Nickel dimer on Sydney Janes, and she'll check out with 5 personals. Her night will be finished. She went scoreless in the second half. And Coach Lang's going to argue the point. Not sure why, up 15 with 2.5 minutes to go. Official turned around and put the whistle in his mouth. Thought he might ring him up once, as Maddie Bell will check in for Janes. And Maddie Bausman for the Lady Senators will check in at the free throw line. Maddie on the year a 60% shooter, 22 of 37. This will be her first attempt of the night. That one long. Keltner offensive rebound. She can't get it to go. Rebound comes out to the Lady Cougars. Still can't buy one. Free throw line not the friend of the Lady Senators here, especially in this second half, Coach.
Yeah, it's
1 of 5.
You talk about how many front ends? I mean,
3.
3 front ends.
3 in this quarter alone.
3 front ends. That's
4
6
overall.
Several turnovers. I mean, we talked about this being a measuring stick right now. I mean, there's a month to go. I mean, right now, Lutheran looks like the more solid team. I mean, could that change tomorrow night? Yeah, but it's going to have to. A month from now, when we're playing in a sectional here and we play like this, it's just, you're not going to win a championship. I mean, that's everybody's goal, is to win it, but you're going to have to play better than this.
So Piper Acton back to the free throw line. She's able to get 1 of 2, make it 54-38. Lady Senators trail it by 16. 2-minute warning here as Bausman has it out top against spacing. Not good. It's an overload with 4 on one side, but not by design, as we'll have a foul. And Keltner will take it to the rack. And the Trinity Lutheran fans, much like their coach, still very unhappy with some of the whistles here, up 16 on the road.
I'm sure everybody's fans are that way, but do you remember the Trinity Lutheran boys game? I mean,
yes.
It seems like there's a lot of yelling. A lot of refs up there. A lot of refs.
Have a little maybe offensive, defensive substitution work here. And to the free throw line, Keltner was able to knock them both down. Make it 54-40, minute 59 to play. Long way to go, short time to try to get there. Maybe just a little too late as they'll feed it into Hackman. She's picked up by Abels. Abels leaves her for a moment. Jump shot on the baseline would not go, and we'll have a foul underneath on the rebound attempt. This will go against the Lady Cougars. This will be team foul number 10. And Savannah Hartwager will pick up her second. So we'll walk to the other end. Again, the Lady Senators on the year, a 3-point shooting machine. They have attempted, coming into tonight, 278 on the year, Coach. And tonight, they've got just 1 to go down as Griffiths goes to the free throw line. A 69% free throw shooter. Hits the first and rattles the second home. She is now 3 of 5 on the night. 54-42 with the steal. Fouch able to get the basket layup. Her first field goal of the night, make it 54-44. And Griffiths with another near steal. She tried to save it in. Ball went a little too high off the save attempt. Minute 35 to go. Lady Senators keep clawing, much like the boys. Even when they get down, they show some grit and heart here on their home floor. And a deep baseball pass. Carter with the steal. Turnover number 9 of the half. And now a foul on Gerker, and that's it for her. Coach, she'll foul out of the game. Her and Janes both gone, minute 32. And suddenly a little life into this Lady Senator team.
Got to keep hitting the free throws. Got to keep hitting the free throws and keep being aggressive. You know, sometimes, you know, when they were stretching the lead, they were stretching the lead out. We started playing passive. We started playing passive even on the press where they got open layups. We're better when we're just aggressive 100% of the time.
Even though it's a full timeout, we're going to keep it right here, but we will pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball on WSLM.
When you're listening to IU Sports, you need to be locked in on WSLM 97.9 FM, your home for IU Sports.
Timeout on the floor, full timeout for Coach Michael Lang as his team now having some shaky wheels on the axles. And before they can come spinning off altogether, he burns the timeout, leaving him with a 30-second timeout in his pocket, but a minute 32 to go on the game reset, 54-44. Lady Senators down by 10, and it will be a little diamond press almost here for the Lady Senators, perhaps off of the free throw attempts. That's something that they like to use a lot. Sometimes they'll match up full court man-to-man, but at this point, I think you almost have to go man-to-man and bite it up down 10.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you have to do something to create turnovers like they have the last couple of possessions. You know, you were talking about we're 1 of 8 from 3. I don't know how many we average per game, but maybe that's telling me maybe throughout the game we weren't quite as patient as we needed to be offensively to get better shots, or maybe our plan was just to attack the paint. But, you know, maybe we just weren't quite as – we got an offensive board there, Hattie. Crashing the board.
Fouch able to hit 1 of 2, and off the miss, Hattie digs for the offensive board and gets fouled on her shot attempt. Harwager will pick up the personal, her third, team foul number 11. And Coach Lang continues to chew on this official's ear a little bit with a minute 29 to go. Hattie to the free throw line, and Coach, another miss from the charity stripe. And if this one ends up being single digits, Coach Russell may need some Tums to settle the stomach a little bit before he can go to sleep tonight. Second free throw on the way, and that one finally rattles home. Hattie 3 of 4 in this period. 54-46, minute 29 to go. They'll turn it over again, or almost turn it over.
Yeah,
Gracie Abels, if she'd have just let it go.
That's all right. Freshman just trying to make a play.
If it had sailed into the bench, it would have been Lady Senator basketball.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, you gotta forget that one. Yeah, that would have been nice to have, but you gotta forget it.
Castile guard the inbounder. That's Acton. And Fouch will give up the foul, a hard foul at that on Savannah Setti as she'll go to the line again. Setti came in just 0 of 4 on the year from the charity stripe. She shot 2 tonight, went 1 of 2. As the foul is the third on Fouch, team foul number 13 of the half. So Setti to the line for the double bonus. Russell and Bausman to check in next opportunity, which will be after this free throw, and somehow Setti gets that one to go. Not the prettiest of free throw forms, but gets it to go as Griffiths will check out along with the freshman Abels.
Fernando Valenzuela's screwball that somehow went down for her.
Pretty close to it. Minute 28 to go, 55-46, and she banks that one in, but it'll be waved off the board for a violation of stepping over.
We're going to be aggressive, and we're attacking the paint right now. But boy, a 3 would make things a little bit more interesting. But you can't wait too long.
Carter has it out front. She'll take a high ball screen, steps back, 30 ball, got it to go! Bingo, baby! As Carter Knocks in just a second triple of the night. She's got both of them for the Lady Senators, and it's 55-49 with 1:13 to play. Full timeout for Coach Russell and company. We'll step aside and take one as well. Buckle your seatbelts. This may be interesting down the stretch. We'll come back with more right after this.
At Meadowview Health and Rehabilitation, we offer hope in the form of our Moving Forward short-term rehabilitation to home program. With a full range of therapy programs, the goal of Moving Forward Rehabilitation is to help people return home safely with the skills they need to live life on their own terms. Call us and ask us about your Medicare replacement policy or managed insurance policy and what your benefits are. We are here to help. For more information about Meadowview, visit ascseniorcare.com or call 812-883-4681.
Back out of the timeout. Lady Senators apply full court man-to-man pressure here as they nearly get the tip, and they're going to get a sideline violation as Russell and Basman will check in. And this Lady Senator team, which found themselves down 54-38 some time ago, now have a little bit of life here in the waning moments of this one. 72 seconds to play, 55-49. Carter gets it, splits three defenders, runner into paint, kisses it off the window. She has got 8.5, 14 in the ball game to pace the Lady Senator attack. It's a timeout on the floor, and it'll be a 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it here for Coach Russell and his crew. They continue to dig 55-51.
You can't just wait until the last minute and a half, last 2 minutes to play with a sense of urgency. And there were times, especially when Coach Russell took that one timeout and sort of lit into him, that was the problem. Playing too passive, not playing with a sense of urgency. You know, just because you're at home, things aren't just going to be handed to you. Things aren't just going to be easy. You have to play with a sense of purpose and urgency.
Lady Senator team again, all but dead in the water, down 54-38, has somehow managed to claw and scratch and fight their way back into this one, down 4, 55-51, 68 seconds to play to inbound full court. Griffiths with the poke away on the inbounds attempt by Piper Acton, but they had a girl break free in the backcourt.
Yeah, she was wide open. We were lucky.
Will chase her down. That was Savannah Setti.
But having length like Cass in front of you, she couldn't see it.
And it'll be a travel at half court. I tell you, right now's the time, Coach, where they really miss both Jody Gecker at the point and the big Sydney James. Even though she's 6'1", she can handle it.
I think we kind of went in before the horn. You got to wait for.
Maddie and Ryan both anxious to get back in there.
I'm sorry, Coach. Go ahead. But yeah,
they're definitely missing two of their key ball handlers, James and Gerker, both out with 5 personals apiece, and we got to go. We're standing and holding. 1 minute to play, 55-51. Low post feed. Keltner turns, baseline, got it to go. Keltner's got her second field goal of the quarter.
Now you can play deep.
6 in the period. 55-53, 45 seconds to play.
See if you can't get a steal, then you get the foul.
Trap in the corner, and we're going to have a quick foul on Fouch. That'll be her 4th.
Looks
team
like
foul,
Setti
14.
Again.
Not a bad foul again.
Right,
Setti came in 0 of 4 on the year, just 2 of 4 here thus far. Lady Senators treating us to a delight in our first broadcast of the year. First free throw, off the mark, no good. Senator Nation has come to life behind us.
Box out. A few different times on their free throws, we've let them get the offensive board. Maddie needs to body up Hackman.
Second free throw in and out, no good. Hackman got the rebound, goes up strong, and somehow got it to go. She's got 9 alone in the period, 57-53 to the other end. Carter, floater, off glass, won't go. Hackman pulls the board. She'll be triple teamed and fouled. This will be Lady Senator foul number 15, and just another dagger as we could not come up with a defensive board. You know, you avoid that, you come down, it's a 2-point game, you play for the tie or the win.
It was just what we talked about in the pregame. Maddie, I mean, she's a big girl, but she got pushed underneath underneath the basket and gave up the offensive board.
Carter picks up her third. Hackman to the free throw line, a 54% shooter. Hits the first, makes it 58-53, 5-point ball game. Just a shade under a half minute to go, 29.4 on the clock. Second free throw short. And we're going to get a lane violation, so they'll wipe that one off.
Oh, boy. Coach Russell has to be like, oh, boy.
And so Hackman will go again, and that one, of course, rattles home on the gift from the Lady Senators. 59-53, Fouch deep three, off the mark, no good. Russell counted and one on the weak side rebound. Russell gets the putback, gets hammered across the arm. Foul will go against Maddie Bell. Her third, team foul number 12. Ryan to the free throw line for the and one opportunity. That's Ryan Russell. Believe it or not, that's her first points of the night. 59-55, 22.3 on the clock. Ryan is an 80% free throw shooter, and that one left short. Rebound
Carter.
Lost, and a turnover for the Lady Cougars. Gracie Abels has it, back to Carter. She'll drive, little runner off the glass, won't go. Rebound fought for, Hackman out of there with it. Lady Cougars have numbers, 2-on-1. Abels now will wait for help, and there'll be a foul with 4.4, and this will go against Carter, her fourth, team foul number 16. And that will all but do it for the Lady Senators as people will start heading toward the exits.
Opportunities, and you just couldn't seize them. You know, losing a couple of offensive boards, turnovers. Coach Russell's going to be I'm sick about this one.
First free throw up and good. One more coming. Timeout on the floor, 30-second timeout, so we'll keep it right here. We'll remind you to stay with us as we bring you post-game coverage of this wild and wacky finish.
We talked about before the game that these are probably the two favorites for sectional. Oh boy, I hope, you know, if they're on opposite sides of the bracket and this ends up being a championship game, this place is going to be electric because both crowds were were very into it. I'll leave it at that. It's both, I think even the two teams, they didn't show much love for each other.
Second free throw is good for Acton. Make it 61-55. Carter will come up and heave one from deep, and that one off the mark, no good. And this one will come to a close as the Lady Senators drop a rare one here at home. 61-55 the final, but it was not for a lack of effort or hustle down the stretch. Just too many miscues for the Lady Senators, and every time they would take a step forward, two would be taken backward. But again, you got to remember, folks, this could be a delight to see in the tournament, which sectional 62 will be played on this very floor in this venue, and we can only hope that these two teams will see each other again, preferably not on the opening night of the tournament, maybe in that championship tilt on Saturday night. Nonetheless, Lady Senators fall short in this top 10 battle to the Lady Cougars. 61-55 the final. We'll step aside, hear a word from a couple of sponsors, and we'll come back to begin our Ace Hardware of Salem post-game wrap-up. Lady Senators falling here tonight. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball on WSLM.
Police, I just hit a deer. Well, the deer actually hit me, right? But I need a wrecker for my truck. See, the whole front end is really smashed in. Now, the deer didn't make it, but it sure looks like a 12-pointer. Hey, I'd like to be towed to Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center. Yeah, you know, the one at 1008 West Mulberry Street in Salem. Well, just the other day, Bill, my buddy, he had his Ford Mustang redone there, and it looks like it did back in 1965. Even better. Well, they accept most major insurances, and they work with you to get a rental and get you back on the road with genuine parts for your vehicle. Not like some body shops that make their repairs out of the local junkyard. Yeah, right. Let Paul know it's me and that the truck will be coming in. He's a great guy. He knows the repair business like the back of his hand. The deer, he's not going to process that. Just the truck. Yeah, Eddie Gilstrap Motors Collision Center, or call Paul at 812-883-3481.
Channel seamanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
Since 1937, Eddie Gilstrap Motors has been proud to call Washington County home. As you cheer for your team tonight, we'd like to thank you for your business and continued support. Best wishes to the Lions, Senators, and Musketeers this season.
Senators fall in a heartbreaker here tonight as the Lady Senators drop now to 12-6 overall on the season, ranked number 10 in Class 1A. Meanwhile, the number 5 Lady Cougars escape Campbellsburg with the 61-55 thrilling victory, now driving their record to 15-3 overall. Coach, as we said, we could only hope for a rematch in just a short while from now, about a month from now, in sectional 62, but a long way to go, some things to be determined. And for the Lady Senators, although this was a game that I know that they wanted in terms of momentum swings, they have to realize, it's kind of like Coach Smith said in one of his post games whenever he was talking after the Paoli game. The next night we had to come back and play the Trinity Lutheran boys here, and he said, we can't let Paoli beat us tomorrow night. In other words, we can't let this linger and have a hangover. And for the Lady Senators, it's much the same because they have some pivotal games coming up, including Saturday's doubleheader with the boys against a possible sectional opponent in Edinburgh that they'll see for the first time, but also a couple of key conference matchups with them being in the driver's seat in the Patoka Lake.
That's exactly what I was just getting ready to add. We have Paoli coming up. We have Crawford. I think Valley may be coming up pretty soon as well. I don't know. Can't remember if that was Valley or not. Anyway, you're right. We have a lot of key PLAC games, and you can't let that one linger. Obviously, they know how they played. I guarantee you they've talked about it up in that locker room that they're not very happy with the way they played. Way too many turnovers, 13 of 52% from the free throw line, missing several front ends. And when they took the lead, when Trinity took the lead from 4 to 10, we talked about it. Well, you can't let this get to 8 or 10. And Coach Russell took a timeout, and just you could hear him even through our headset. He was so loud. He was not happy with the way we were playing as an effort. If you want to win a sectional, like, nobody's going to give it to you. You have to play with effort, and you can't go 4 or 5 minutes playing with passive or not with a sense of urgency. And we did that, and it came back to haunt us. And you couple that with turnovers, you couple that with poor shooting. Couple that with 2 of 11 from behind the arc, where we're normally we do some damage. That's the way it turned out. But you can't let this one be. You can't lose it again Saturday. You can't let, like you said, you can't let Trinity beat us twice in 1 week. So we just got to bounce back, and I know we will. These girls have been resilient. They win a couple, lose one. Well, they'll get right back on and win a couple more. We just have to be able to learn from this one that we have to play better, and get right back on the horse. And we got a month to go. We got to improve, and like I said, this could be an exciting sectional.
Absolutely. We're going to step aside, get another word in from one of our sponsors, and we'll let Coach Darren Russell settle in to the microphone, and we'll come back with our interview with him in just a moment.
Caring people make the difference. You can feel it the minute you walk into Salem Crossing. Experts in long-term care, not just doing a job, but following a calling. They're here to help you and your family find answers and solutions and peace of mind. In fact, they become an extension of your family. For more information about Salem Crossing, visit ASCSSeniorCare.com or call 812-883-1877. That's 812-883-1877.
Back inside the friendly confines we come as we roll on with this Lady Senator Ace Hardware of Salem post-game show wrap-up. Lady Senators fall here tonight, 61-55, the final in a battle of top 10 teams in Class 1A. We're joined now by Lady Senator head coach, Mr. Darren Russell. And, Coach, before I even ask the first question, I can just see the raw emotion on your face. I'm sure it's much the same with your Lady Senators up in that locker room. A tough battle here tonight. No team, it seemed like for so long, could ever grow any distance from one another, and then finally the levee breaks a little bit for them as they run wild in that third quarter. But give credit where credit's due. Your girls, much like our boys in a few games this year, found a way to work their way back into it, scratch and claw, and prove, hey, we're not going to go easy if we're going to go.
Right. No matter what, I'm extremely proud of our girls' effort. We were down, 15 points with about 16, 3 minutes to go, and came back and got it within 2 points. And, we missed some shots. We missed free throws, things that, we're typically a good free throw shooting team. I mean, that's why I told them we make between 70 and 75% every day at practice, and then come out here and shoot under 50% or right above 50%. I felt like, and I told them, I said, we lost this in the first half. When they had Hackman on the bench with 2 fouls, they had Janes on the bench with 2 fouls, they had Acton on the bench with 3 fouls. And instead of us coming out and going on that spurt, getting up 8-10 points going into half, we go down. And, that's inexcusable. And I don't know whether it was the mental mindset that they had, that they saw their 2 big guns out and thought this is going to be easy, but it certainly wasn't. But, we'll learn from this because there's no doubt we're going to see this team again, and there's going to be a lot more at stake than tonight's game.
Absolutely, and as you said, in that second quarter where you thought you might have a chance to kind of break the ice yourselves, for the longest time, neither team able to gain more than a 2 or 3 point advantage. Your team, though, finds the wrong time to go a little cold. Yeah. You just managed 1 field goal there in that second quarter, but knowing that, you still had to feel pretty good going into the half, just down 3. What was the message to the girls at the break?
Well, that we're a better shooting team than that. To be held down to 1 field goal for an entire quarter and still only be down 3 points. But, I also let them know that, if we get beat, we're going to look back at the end of the second quarter and say that's the reason why. And, we talk about mental toughness and being mentally prepared and focused. And I think we were at the start of the game, and I think we just kind of had a letdown when you saw they're 3 studs sitting on the bench. We thought, this is going to be like going against the JV, and it wasn't at all. And, they made us pay, and hopefully our kids learned a lesson from that.
In that fourth quarter, though, Coach, as we said just a moment ago, your team found themselves down 54-38, seemed to be dead in the water offensively, but then you get a little bit of momentum, you get a little run, a little spurt going, and then both Gerker and Janes foul out there late in the ball game, and you could tell that they really missed their presence handling the ball, because that's when you were able to ratchet up the pressure a little bit. But then whenever you get it down to a position where you feel pretty comfortable, it's a 1-possession ball game, they come down, they miss 2 free throws. Lo and behold, they get the offensive rebound.
That was tough. I mean, but we learned from it, hopefully, and, realized the importance of free throw blockouts and being strong with the ball, because I thought there was 2 or 3 times early in the first half where we'd get a rebound and, we weren't strong with it. We ended up losing it, and that's frustrating. There were several things that we did not do well tonight. We didn't run our break the way that we could. We wanted to do too much dribbling instead of moving it by passing, and, that's what we've got to do. I mean, Trinity did not want to run with us. I mean, you could see them getting extremely tired in the first half, but give them credit because they fought through it, and we didn't take advantage of that.
Coach, we'll go with the gray cloud with the silver lining in the fact that your team, who's normally just an absolute threat from beyond the arc downtown tonight, just able to connect on 2. That was both from Chelsea, 1 in the third and 1 in the fourth. Despite that lack of perimeter shooting tonight, I felt like, and we talked about this in the pregame and coming into this one, that Maddie and Cass would have to play big for you, and I thought they held their own against those 2 girls being shorthanded without Cora.
They did, and that's the other factor you got to figure in come sectional time is Cora's going to be in there and going to be able to beat and bang on 45 and keep Cass out of just the physical abuse, and gives her more freedom to run, and then you can play Maddie out on the wing more and use that length. But I'm extremely proud of what we did tonight late in the game with the comeback. I feel a lot better than I would have 30 minutes ago.
Well, I know, Coach, you are a very strong competitor, as I am, and I know that you'll be licking your chops as well as the girls to get your hands on this Trinity Lutheran team again. But as Coach Gibson and I were talking about before you came on, it's kind of like Coach Smith said after the Paola game, coming back here to play Trinity. You can't let that loss linger and beat you the next night. And although you don't play tomorrow night, you do turn around on Saturday and have the doubleheader with Edinburgh with the boys. How do you handle the short turnaround, and what's your message to the girls tomorrow?
That's what I told them. I said, we don't have time to feel sorry for ourselves. We'll come in and practice tomorrow night and work on some of the things, primarily free throw shooting. But then we play again Saturday, another sectional opponent, and then we play Monday, and then next Thursday at this time we're playing Crawford County, and if that's the next championship we're looking at is, if we want that PLAC, we got to beat Crawford, and then we got to beat Paoli the next week. So we're not going to feel sorry for ourselves. We're gonna learn from this and get better and be ready come sectional time.
And the good news for you, Coach, you talk about that conference standing right now, 4-0 with those 2 games left over the next couple of Thursdays, and both of them right here in the friendly confines. Yeah. I know you got to like that.
I do. And the thing is, and that's what I talked to the kids about in there after the game. I said, when we started making the comeback, this gym was not nearly as full as what it's going to be come sectional time. But it was loud.
Yeah.
And when that happened, the kids even realized that that's when Trinity started getting shook. Sure. And, now the thing is, we play sectional here and have all those people. That's going to make a difference. And hopefully we have huge crowds for the Crawford and Paoli games because especially, I know college, NBA, the crowds play a part. But, in high school sports, the home crowd can make a huge difference between winning or losing, and all of a sudden the crowd gets loud. The girls forget about how tired they are or being sore or upset or anything like that. They feed off of that, and that's what we're going to need.
That X factor, I'm sure, will bring a lot of adrenaline come sectional 62 here on the Ron Smith court. Coach, we appreciate your time as always, and we'll talk to you on the short turnaround just prior to the tip Saturday night.
All right. Well, I want to thank you guys for doing this again. This, like I said on a Facebook message, this is the first time in I don't know how many years that WSLM's
covered
regular season girls game. So, we've had Craig, and that's been great, but a lot of people can't get the live stream. So now if they can't get here, there's no reason for them not to watch or listen to us. So I appreciate that.
All right. We'll see you Saturday.
All right. Thank you.
Coach Russell joins us here on the Lady Senator post-game show coverage brought to you by Ace Hardware in Salem. His team falls 61-55 tonight, a 6-point loss, but they missed 12 free throws. On the other hand, you look at it, 6-point loss. Trinity Lutheran crumbled down the stretch without their 2 main ball handlers, and Nay as well missed a ton of free throws, going 15 of 30 on the night overall. So both teams very subpar in their free throw shooting. Let's run down the scoring for both of these clubs. First for Trinity Lutheran, again now 15-3 on the year. We'll see if they stay at number 5 or if they're able to take another notch up the ladder here in the 1A girls basketball standings. Tonight they get 3 players in double figures, as probably expected based on their statistics. Piper Acton leads the way. She leads all scorers in the game with 16 on the night. Joining her, Abby Hackman. What a night for her. 15 points, 11 of those 15, though, coming in the crucial minutes whenever Trinity Lutheran needed her most to step up for Gurker and Janes, who both fouled out of the ball game. Again, she has 11 of her 15 in the final stanza. Sydney Janes, 11 points, all in the first half, battled those 2 quick personals in the third. She had to sit for a bulk of the second half with foul trouble. Also starting tonight, Jody Gurker chips in 6. Savannah Harwager with 7. Off the bench, Savannah Setti, Maddie Bell, Emma Gurker, and Hannah Saboten play for Coach Mike Lang. Saboten goes scoreless, as well as Emma Gurker. Off the bench, Maddie Bell chips in 4 on 2 two-point field goals. Savannah Setti chips in 2 as well, all from the free throw line. 15 of 30 on the night for 50% for the Lady Cougars on their 61-point effort here this evening. 20 turnovers in all, 12 of those 20 turnovers coming in the second half and down the stretch as they started to fall apart. Meanwhile, for the Lady Senators, now 12-6 on the year. We'll see if this one causes them to slip any at all out of the top 10 standings in Class 1A. We'll see what they can do, though, to salvage some of that ranking on Saturday night against the Lady Lancers of Edinburgh. Tonight, they get 10 points from Hattie Griffiths from the point. She went 4 of 7 from the free throw line. Ryan Russell, a quiet night for her, chips in just 2 on the evening on a fourth quarter and 1 opportunity. Chelsea Carter leads the way for the Lady Senators with 14, 8 of those 14 coming in the second half of play. She hit the only 2 3-pointers of the night for this ball club. Maddie Bausman chips in with 8 on the night, 0 of 1 from the free throw line, and Cassidy Keltner 4 of 7 from the line, 12 points in all for the sophomore. Taylor Fouch, Gracie Abels, and Bailey Roll play off the bench tonight for Coach Russell. Fouch chips in 7, most of her damage at the free throw line. Abels goes scoreless. Roll chips in a 2-point make in the first quarter. The Lady Senators go 13 of 25 on the night from the charity stripe for just 52% as their woes continue. They're just a 64% team from the stripe overall for the season. The real issue for them, though, the turnovers. 10 in the second half, 13 in the first half for a total of 23 on the night for Coach Russell's ball club, and that is too many possessions to give away to a good ball club in Trinity Lutheran. Score after the first quarter was 15-13, Lady Senators on top, and then in the second quarter, the Lady Cougars kind of take control. They outscore the Lady Senators 12-7. Third quarter also belongs to the Lady Cougars, outscoring the Lady Senators 17-10 as they roll into the fourth quarter with a 42-32 advantage. And the Lady Senators' comeback effort stopped just short. They outscore the Lady Cougars 23-19 in that fourth quarter of play and fall here tonight. 61-55 is the final. We'll step aside, take another break, and we'll come back. Coach Gibson will have some of the team statistics for us. You're listening to the Lady Senator post-game wrap-up brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem. Back with more right after this.
Channel Seedsmanship. It's about being in your fields, giving you expert advice, knowing your fields almost as well as you do, and selecting elite seed products to help maximize your profitability. When it comes to getting the most out of your acres and your operation, put your trust in a Channel Seedsman. For customized service, expert advice, and elite seed products, contact me, Brady Bishop, at 812-620-4624. Go Senators.
As we roll on with more of this post-game wrap-up brought to you by Ace Hardware of Salem. Be sure to stop in and check out their January bargains of the month as we open up 2018. Coach, you've got some final team statistics for us.
Yes, team shooting, and like I said, it shows that it ended up being the game that it was, where Trinity shot 20 of 42 shots inside the arc for 48%, 2 of 4 from behind the arc, so 50%, where the Senators go 2 of 11 from behind the arc, which is definitely below what they normally do. So that's something that the Senators can look to, that maybe it will be more of a bright spot the next time. They went 18 of 39 inside the arc. So the Senators shoot 40% overall to the Cougars 48. Did a nice job on the boards. Senators win that battle, 33 rebounds to Trinity Lutheran's 27, 10 offensive, 8 for the Cougars. Cass Keltner, 13 rebounds, with 4 of them being offensive, so 13 boards for Cass. That was nice. Chelsea pitched in 6 boards, and Bailey Roll off the bench had 5 rebounds. So nice job on the boards for those ladies. Assists, Trinity Lutheran 17 to West Washington's 12, and led by Chelsea had 3 assists. Cass had 2. Fouch off the bench with 3 assists. So, you know, that's pretty even. But I think it shows a 5 assist advantage. There was a stretch there in the second half where they beat our press and got several layups. So, you know, they did a nice job of beating the press and assisting on little nice easy buckets there when they were taking that lead from 4 to I think it actually got up to 14, 16 points at one point. So steals were about even. Steals for the Senators, Chelsea Carter with 3, Maddie Bausman with 2. So she did a nice job. Those guys, you know, defensively at times when we were engaged, it was pretty good. We did pretty well. We had in 20 deflections. You know, Maddie had a lot of deflections, as well as Chelsea and Cass Keltner too, and Maddie also had 2 blocks. So everything was pretty even. The Cougars shot a little bit better than we did, and obviously turnovers were a problem. You know, both teams from the line you already mentioned shot 52%, 13 of 25 for the Senators. Several key missed front ends, and 15 of 29. So, you know, that may be story behind the story when these teams, if these teams meet again in the sectional. It's like, okay, is there a moment in the game where it's almost a hack-a-shack situation where you put these teams on the line where they didn't perform real well in this game. But, you know, we talked about it. There's a lot to improve on. I'm sure Coach said that. And, you know, you just have to – we play again Saturday, so you get a day off. I'm sure they'll have a walkthrough, and then you got to get ready, and you have another sectional opponent in Edinburgh coming Saturday. So you got to put that one away. Hopefully, I don't know how long Cora's going to be out, but we need to have her back for sectional. Right? So people don't – they talk about Jane's not playing a whole lot. Well, we have a starter didn't play at all. So
this is very true. We'll step aside. We'll take a quick final break here. A word from Ace Hardware of Salem, bringing you this post-game wrap-up here tonight from the Ron Smith Court. We'll come back and name our Ace Hardware player or players of the night and give a final thought and put a bow on this one when we come back. You're listening to Lady Senator Basketball on Salem's 1220.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
I needed a cooler for our annual fishing trip, and I heard Ace has Yeti.
Jack was right. We do have Yeti coolers. I told him about the permafrost insulation and the fact that Yeti coolers are built for the wild, and that Yeti Tundra is guaranteed grizzly-proof.
Ace is a place with grizzly-proof Yeti coolers.
As we come back for the final time inside the friendly confines here at the Ron Smith Court, Dr. T. Kermit Tower Gymnasium, Lady Senators fall 61-55. The final time to name our Ace Hardware players of the game. We're going to give it to 2. We're going to give it to a senior and a sophomore. Chelsea Carter leads the way for the Lady Senators tonight. 14 points, 6 rebounds, as well as 3 steals, 3 assists, and she hit the lone 2 3-pointers on the night from downtown for Coach Darren Russell's ball club. Also, Cassidy Keltner, a big night for her in the post, 12 points. She had a double-double with 13 rebounds along with a block and 2 assists. Congratulations to Chelsea Carter and Cassidy Keltner, our Ace Hardware players of the night. Coach, again, you mentioned it, no rest for the weary, short turnaround, and just, you know, hope that this Lady Senator team can learn from some mistakes quickly on the fly, you know, shore up some of their free throw woes a little bit and bounce back, because Edinburgh, I'm sure, will see that score and they'll come in here hungry on Saturday night for the doubleheader.
Yeah, actually, I think there's two: the turnovers and the free throws. We just have to get better at that. You know, maybe tonight just wasn't a 3-point night. You know, 2 of 11. We're much better than that. But you know, that could be a difference next time. But the two things that you can control. I mean, you shoot free throws all the time. I mean, you have to do better at that. And turnovers are going to happen. I mean, especially for a half, that game was up and down, up and down. So there's going to be a few, but there were several that were unforced. They were our fault. It wasn't due to their pressure. It was things that we were doing, bad skip passes, you know, just dribbling off our foot, double dribbles, you know, getting stuck underneath, going out of bounds. You know, those are the things, and it came down. You know, we probably talked about 4 or 5 unforced errors of those 23. I mean, you score on 3 of those. You know, that's 6 points, and what was the final score? You know, I mean, you know, those make a difference. Everybody thinks, oh, if we'd just hit that shot at the end or blah, 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 but those things add up throughout the game. You know, the bad pass in the second quarter that could have led to an easy bucket, you know, the double dribble out front, just not being aware of what's going on. I mean, those things add up, and that's why Coach talks. I mean, that's why you have to play with a sense of urgency, and you have to play smart basketball if you want to win a title. If you know, I mean, I know that sounds cliche or whatever. You have to be smart to win titles.
Good news for us, Coach. 4 games in 3 days as we run our little mini marathon to start 2018. 1 down, 3 to go, and it's off to your old stomping grounds to Leopold tomorrow night as the boys return to PLAC action.
The old alma mater, yeah. That's every time we go down there, somebody sees a skinny Coach Gibson up on the wall and a picture up on the wall, and I hear about it for a week. So I might call down there and have my brother Greg cover those up or take them down just for a night or something.
Now. We'll see you down at Leopold.
Absolutely.
Here tonight, the Lady Senators get 2 players in double figures to help lead the charge, actually 3, as Hattie Griffiths joins the fray with 10 points as well behind Carter's 14 and Keltner's 12, but it's not enough as the Lady Cougars get 3 girls in double figures as well, 16 from Acton, 11 from Janes, and 15 from Hackman. So the Twin Towers combine for 26 here tonight to help pace the Lady Cougar attack as they run their record again to 15-3 overall with the 61-55 win over Coach Russell's Lady Senators, now 12-6 on the year. Just a couple of program reminders. We will be on the air tomorrow night. It's a 6:30 JV boys basketball start down at Leopold, so we'll be on the air somewhere around 7:40 or so with our pregame coverage, 7:30, 7:40, somewhere in that neighborhood. So we'll be on a little bit later than usual. Then we'll be right back here on Saturday. Varsity boys and girls rare doubleheader as the girls will start things off at 6 o'clock. Our pregame coverage to start somewhere around 5:40 or so, and we'll roll right out of that game and straight into the boys matchup with the Lancers as well. So again, mini marathon for us, but wouldn't have it any other way to start off 2018. As always, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to tonight's broadcast of Lady Senator basketball. Again, our first of the season. It has been a treat at that. Hopefully they can bounce back come tournament time. And we also want to thank the sponsors that make this and every broadcast of Senator and Lady Senator basketball possible on WSLN. Those sponsors one final time include John Jones, which brings you our pregame show coverage each night. The Senators and Lady Senators are in action. Our halftime sponsor, Eddie Gilstrap Motors, and your postgame show sponsor, Ace Hardware of Salem, as well as McDonald's, Walmart, Meadowview Healthcare, Salem Crossing, and Brady Bishop with Channel Seed. Without their generous support, we would not be able to do the job we love. Each night the Senators are in action, so please let those sponsors know how much they are truly appreciated. For my sidekick and broadcast partner here this evening, Coach Mark Gibson, our live stream operator, Craig Akers, and for Becky White back on very frigid Radio Ridge this evening. A great job as always. This is Misty Jones saying so long and good night from the friendly confines. Lady Senators fall 61-55 the final. We'll see you from Leopold tomorrow night. Good night, everybody. Stay warm.